Curses!
Okay, let's see if I can find my...
Are we in?
Yep, Reese says it'll be 5 minutes. I told him the stream's up.
5 minutes.
That's not that bad. It's better than last time.
Yeah, sure.
Let's just hope that the sound is working properly.
Should we just...
This is picking up a ton.
Burritos?
Yeah. Have some burritos.
You guys
I might have to step away for like 5-10 minutes. I'm expecting a call from my realtor. So
You guys
If
got an
I-
offer on your house?
we got 2 offers.
Nice.
So we told them, give us your best and final. We'll see what happens.
Nice. Okay, where's my little key?
She might not call too. So.
So I've got salt and vinegar that
Nice.
I did open, and then also the crunchy Cheetos. Haven't opened yet, so feel free.
Cool.
Perfect. Very confused. What?
What
Wait,
the
did the
what?
door just shut?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike. I think Mike was just leaving.
Wow. It's like, are we expecting someone else? The
Surprise!
ghost of I Transact is here to haunt Payrock.
It could just
Watch
be
your
Tori's ghost. Apparently she had a ghost.
Put internal speakers.
He's back.
I knew it. It's Ghost of I Transact. Ghost of I Transact passed.
Look, Mike. If you
Yeah.
want to play, you can play. You don't have to just keep like hanging around.
Yeah, just come play. Your character sheet really quick. You are a
Cleric.
you're a cleric.
Facilities.
You're a female cleric who started as the oldest profession ever, but
Barwench.
she got out of it.
Don't let the
And
drone
now she's a cleric.
A bar wench.
See, this is so dynamic.
So you're saying I could be Mary Magdalene?
Yes.
The hooker with the heart of gold is really overplayed.
Okay, fine.
Be a hooker with a heart of
With a heart
copper.
black.
Heart of copper.
Yep. You're a cleric, but decided that wasn't good enough, so you became a hooker.
You reversed the story. You were a good guy who was bad.
The cleric with a heart of ice.
This is so interesting.
Absolutely. Will you make sure that the
Alarm gets locked, set.
yes, but actually I was thinking of the door back.
Yeah,
Leave it
shut.
open
Yeah.
for you guys.
Sounds good.
All right.
These
Later,
are-
Mike.
These are communal Doritos, by the way.
Sweet.
Okay, I think it's working. Next time I'll ring
You watched the Orville, right?
the rest.
What?
The Orville?
Uh-huh.
What'd you think of the latest episode?
Of course it's a Derek.
The last episode was sweet. That
With
planet
the
ship
giant
thing,
ship?
that was
Yeah.
so cool.
I thought that was really good.
I
have
really
a new
liking the
theory
show so
about it.
far.
Seth MacFarlane went to Fox and said, "I want to do Star Trek."
Oh,
and,
are you guys
Yeah.
talking about the Seth
Uh-huh.
MacFarlane Star Trek show?
And
It was
Fox
good?
went,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's funny.
like
It's
they've
not super funny, but it's like very Trekky.
yeah. And Fox said, "We can't do Star Trek. We don't own it." And he goes, "Well, what if I do Star Trek anyway?" And they're like, "Okay, but you have to just change it up." So they toted it as a comedy
Yeah.
to get people like, "Hey, it's Seth MacFarlane. It's not Star Trek. It's a parody on Star Trek." And then they've just been wheedling down the comedy
Yeah, it's
just to
Star
make it
Trek.
more Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been really meta lately. I don't know if you saw the Family Guy season premiere.
I didn't.
It was like how to win an Oscar, and it was like they were doing like Breaking Bad and like Modern Family, like all mashed into like one show. And they had like House of Cards and Game of Thrones. Like it was just like, I think that's just his thing right now.
Yeah.
He's just like doing all the other shows his way. So it's pretty good. But yeah, last episode was sweet, and Liam Neeson was in it.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Just like at the end there.
No. Now, it's not necessarily I mean,
He's worked with him.
yeah,
before.
exactly.
I know,
A
it's
Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and he's been on
And
Family.
he's
And
been on Family
been
Guy.
on
And
Family
Charlize Theron's in the next episode.
Really?
And then also Ted 2.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Is this for kids only?
Yeah, the trick cereal.
Drinks are for kids.
If I buy this cereal, I won't be followed home.
Liam Neeson's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
thought that was a good
The
episode.
stream's up, so he should be able to see it now.
The one before
Reese, are you
it
there?
was a little preachy-ish.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of cramming it on you, but
So what I
it's still
liked,
good.
what I liked about it is it's the classic Star Trek situation. Like we're gonna convince this alien race that what they're doing is not the right way, right?
Yeah.
Which is a huge problem with Star Trek because aliens are not like humans.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of them being alien.
Yeah.
You know. So when they get to that end verdict and you realize, oh, nothing's changed, it's like, not right now. But change doesn't happen overnight,
Yeah.
like usual.
Well, and he gives him that little Rudolph thing.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch.
Mhm.
I was like,
I think it was a good episode to show that, hey, we're not going to be like Star Trek where everything's going to be solved because these people, these high and mighty people come in and
Yeah.
save the day all the time, you know?
I love almond bread.
yeah, it's good. I have a feeling it won't get renewed for a second season,
No.
but
Most
it will
likely.
probably go to Netflix or something.
I hope
Which is
so.
awesome.
I don't know if Fox will let Seth MacFarlane go, though.
I know every time they try to, they just bring him back a season later.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's their bread and butter over there.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of like gourmet bread and butter, he's just like white bread and like cheap margarine.
Hey, margarine
But
is
it
good.
makes some money.
Whatever works.
Margarine is tasty.
Okay.
Only on toast.
Only on toast.
Yeah.
Toast.
Lambus bread.
I'm going to restore the pages, but I'm going to...
Totally is $9.99. Next person to view it will break 1,000.
On Twitch?
Just barely, yeah.
Sweet! We have 1,000 viewers!
We have 1,000 people who have looked at the stream for a second.
Yeah, look at the stream. for a second.
No, I went, what the? This is dumb! And
What's
then
the
it's
dude talking like a girl in a closet for? What the heck, man? Wow.
Wait, did we record that one too?
Yeah.
I did not know that we had recorded that one.
Makes you want to listen, huh?
That's all. The only
No,
ones
I've
I have.
experienced
The problem is I gotta move them off of Twitch before they delete. But I want to say the first one I moved to YouTube.
Yeah,
Where's mine?
YouTube's there.
Yeah.
YouTube lasts forever.
I was planning on pulling them down and then just cutting them out and then using them for like note taking
Yeah.
because Preston's lazy. But then it just didn't. It hasn't happened yet. So.
Alright.
I feel like it's best for my character to not take notes because then if you forget something.
But you're the one taking notes besides
I know, this
I
is
know.
for me. This isn't for Accio. This is for
I have scribble notes here though. So
That's the
This
thing
is
though,
just
is
for names. That's all. it's
as
for.
a wizard, as a drunk wizard, I could see you taking notes but not remembering.
Wondering what
You're
the
just
hell?
like idly, like as people are talking, you're just like
Dave?
scribbling, and you're just like, oh,
doodles.
you know. Does anybody know the correct
Like-
sequence? Anybody remember that code that we need to do for this?
I wrote down
You know, it's just
code
like-
is, and then I stopped writing.
Yeah.
When you're sober, you can't read it, but then when you're actually drunk, you can read what it says.
Someone give me a drink. I need to crack this code.
This is drunk script.
Hey, that's a good way to make sure nobody steals your stuff.
Looks like thieves can't, but drunk can.
Yep. I love Thieves' Can. I think that's great.
Well, should we
We should start.
and just Reese can jump in?
Yep.
He's not.
So
It's fine.
I would not be
He's here.
the
I think
cultist
I
who
see him.
tries to knock out the barbarian.
Oh, he's on?
Reese, can you hear us?
What's that about a barbarian?
Nobody's knocking out the barbarian. Everything's fine.
Please.
We're good here. How are you?
You're the dungeon master. You don't need to be afraid.
I'm good. I heard you were gonna get rid of me so I don't cause mayhem for the group.
Yeah, we're gonna
Are you
kill
kidding
off.
me? I love mayhem.
He's an agent of mayhem.
In fact, last time we had a lot of mayhem. So after the party successfully ambushed the rear guard,
We were
successful.
successful.
I mean, you won.
Totally successful.
Successful? Question mark?
Question mark. You ended up in the camp. Now, if everybody remembers, it's kind of a horseshoe-shaped ravine. It's up on the roll d20. If you still want to take a look at it, I'm not going to pull it up because apparently it's freezing my computer.
We can just use our imagination.
Yeah.
Well, I'll pull it up. I'm just getting signed in.
Is that Twitch opening for you? I can't tell if that's you in the watcher list or not.
looks like this. For those of you who need a reminder.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Tis the crown.
Hey, is that the blue guy with the spear?
That is Cyan Wraith, yes. That is
But that's not the same person that came out of the tent and threw it.
no. The one that came out of the tent is a black dragon.
Right.
Or black half dragon.
She's gonna kill us.
And she went to ask someone to go check on the rear guard, at which point your gnome bard said, "We're over here," and attempted to bluff his way into letting her believe that he was the rear guard.
And
And
rolled a 16, by
yeah,
the way.
rolled pretty good.
Not good enough.
Did not convince her. And the party ended up captured. Now, everybody's been stripped of their weapons except for... Oh, and I forgot my favorite part. Thornak punched Braum after realizing they've been captured.
We get captured.
He deserved it.
I did.
I agree.
So everybody's stripped of their weapons and magical focuses, except for you have your iron knuckles, which you were able to stow away. Somehow you were able to slip them off your hands without people realizing.
I palmed them.
And then you've got a dagger.
Unobtrusive.
Yep. Not your rapier.
But I do have a dagger.
You have a dagger.
I'll take a dagger.
Where did you put that? Never mind, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Heavy sigh.
Yeah, Thornak, poor Thornak.
Tell you
Somebody's
what,
handling your greatsword right now. You
Thornak,
don't like it very
here's
much.
what's gonna happen: is I'm gonna hold the
No one touches Josephine.
I'm gonna hold the dagger up like what's it called?
Sting.
Luke Skywalker style, and then you're gonna hold me out, and I'm gonna plank, and you're gonna use me as a sword.
I think I'm going to use you as a club.
So, in fact, Thornak, is it Thornak or Thornak? I always forget.
Thornak.
Thornock.
Thornak. You see,
Thor
I'm the game
knocks on the
master. I'm
door.
supposed to know these things.
Thor knocks
Think
at
of
the door.
this. Thor knocks on the door.
Thornak.
Thor knock.
Thornak.
Or dunks it again.
So as you guys are being led away, Thornak, you do watch where your weapon is going, and they seem to be going to a tent on level 2, so in the human area. So you kind of have an idea of which tent they're taking your guys' gear to.
Is it the big one?
No, it's not the big tent. Nope. In fact, the half dragon is heading back to that tent right now.
Did they take our armor off that we had confiscated?
No, they didn't.
I take mine off.
Okay. As you're walking, you're just like,
I was like,
forget
I
it.
don't need this anymore.
All right, some kobold will scurry by and pick it up and take it to the tent.
Yeah.
And then
Filthy creatures.
yours is more of a cultist robe, so
It's perfect.
the guards like that are leading you are like, why are you guys stripping? I don't get it.
I start playing my mandolin in like a seductive tone.
Hey, confiscate that mandolin!
You idiot! My loot.
A guard takes your loot.
I punch him again.
The guards do not stop him.
Stop it!
You're left to the art of vocals.
They actually lead you to Area 3, so you've got the big tent right here, and then they lead you down to where this other prisoner is.
Yes, that's right.
And you see there's just a bunch of like posts stuck in the ground. In fact, they look like they're sticking a few more. They weren't expecting 5 of you.
Quite so many.
Yep. And you can see that the first one is occupied by, let's see here.
Uh-oh.
Occupado.
Well, looks like we don't have room for
A
us.
man who
Let
looks
us
like
go.
this.
Thanks.
Except for he's much more battle worn.
Does he look monkish?
Yes, he does look monkish.
Do I?
Reese,
I don't
I'll-
see anything.
Just a moment. He looks like this, Reese. Can't you see?
So much.
Kobe had a good question,
That
by the
camera
way.
on.
Oh, sorry. What was the question?
This one's on.
Would I,
and that
do I
one's on.
recognize him?
Or you could just put
You-
the image.
Yeah, you can put it right here. You can see it if you just
Oh.
hold it over the. If you
Alright.
need a monitor to
In
see,
fact, let me go ahead and give you the better picture.
I'll tip it backwards so you can
He
see where.
looks like.
Excuse me, sorry.
Hold on. What's going on? Oh, it's sorry, it's behind. There you go.
It looks like that.
Can you see him?
He's right here. He's not. He's the prisoner right there. So
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Half elf, dark hair.
Oh dang, we're gonna get
you
flayed.
you do
I've seen this
recognize the symbol on his, like, etched into his kind of leather corset that he has.
Is it missing any
Corset.
flesh?
Girdle, whatever it is. It is the sign of the monastery at Burdusk. Burdusk.
We know that.
What was the guy's name again?
Leo Sin.
Is he within speaking range?
Yes, at this point, they are tying everybody up. They've got Leosin on the far right, and then it goes. We'll do random styles.
Can I whisper before we get tied up and say, Nessum sent us?
Okay.
Let's just wait until the guards
Yeah.
finish tying us up and then walk away.
And then it's Casey or Lunera. Then it is Akio in the middle.
Okay.
Or, well, I guess there's 6 of you, so technically he'd be on the left middle, or
Left
the right
middle.
middle. And then it's Thornock.
What's up, buddy?
And then it's Brahm, and then you. So you are the farthest away from the monk, unfortunately. So,
They're smart. Keeping the monks away from
so
I am not smart.
they tie you up and they wrap up your arms. They don't wrap up your feet, but they give your arms a good tie-in. Like it's not just your normal like we're just tying the arms around the pole so you can wiggle your way up. It's like wrapped around the pole.
Okay.
So, and then
How big are the poles?
Are they the
poles-
flare style ones?
No, he is on a flare style one.
Okay.
You guys are just on regular posts. Again, you don't think that they were expecting more prisoners like you.
The goat Brom.
The posts they're 2 foot diameter posts.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like fence posts.
Yeah.
And maybe
Big fence
how
posts.
tall? 10 feet?
Like 6.
So
Yeah.
he's taller than the post.
That's so
I'm taller than the post.
Yep. Except for they tied you sitting.
He's like 6'3".
They tied you sitting though, so you whether you have your legs tucked under you or
Oh,
you're
we're
just on
sitting.
your rump, yeah, you're
Okay.
sitting. So
Okay. That makes sense.
yep. All right, and then the guards just kind of wander off. There's the one that kind of goes back to his post, and he just kind of.
You're closest to him?
Yeah.
I whisper to you, tell him Nessum sent us.
I realize the guard is right there.
We left.
I'm not listening.
He's not listening.
Guys, great news, he's not listening. Alright, so.
Ask him for info.
Okay.
Look, there's a pile of gold over there. Did he move?
Is there any way that you can punch Brahm again?
You could try kicking. Well, actually, no. No, well.
I wanna wink at the barbarian. Ting.
Alright.
I'd like to make a strength check to see if I can pull the post out of the ground so I can kill him.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a strength check.
If he rolls a 20,
Until we have some.
We need info. We need info, barbarian. You're hasty.
if he does roll a 20 and tries to pummel me, I would like
One
to
thing
call
my
for him.
books have taught me.
That was a 10.
Okay.
And no, you think maybe with a little bit of time you might be able to pull the post out of the ground because they didn't really secure it in there. They just kind of slammed it into the gravel. But right now, you're not really. You're too worried about your gray sword.
Alright.
Oh, Josephine.
Josephine.
Alright. So,
Yeah, give me the arrangement first.
I kind of lean over closer, or as
I don't know
close as I can.
If you're not
Does anyone happen to have an onboard computer reader for cars?
No.
I do not.
Okay.
Is your car not starting?
It sounds very violent.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Not a happy car.
It sounds scary.
Are there fluids underneath it?
Something tells me that none of us are mechanics.
Unfortunately,
I'm
not.
tied up. Otherwise,
I mean, I can get out of the robes, I would.
Let me make a mechanics check. I rolled a 19. In that case, I know exactly what to roll.
Perfect.
We could Google the symptoms.
just don't look on WebMD. Always says an answer.
I've got cancer.
What mechanic
Car
is
has cancer.
he? Mechanic.
Well, I thought I'd.
Sorry.
I do not.
if you end up breaking down, call us, and we'll come get you.
You're assuming I'm willing to drive, which, quite frankly, the way it's actually, I'm not.
There's a couple of hotels around.
There's a puppy in a kennel.
He's gotta go take care of the
True.
puppy.
Yes.
How much is an Uber from here to your
Yeah.
house?
Huh?
How much is Uber from here to your house?
That's about $40. So it's not
It's not bad, but it's
Terrible.
still pretty steep.
so.
Crap.
Okay. I just didn't know if anyone happened to have one and say they're fancy AC mechanics trucks.
Alright. Good luck.
I don't.
I hope you roll high on whatever.
I have a cardboard box back there.
Roll high on initiative.
Roll high.
Not necessarily useful in the immediate light of things, but I'll
There's
keep it in mind.
there's a scooter just outside if you.
One of the razor scooters.
Better than walking.
They're really fast.
Why didn't I bring my bike in? Okay, well, thank you.
Best of luck. Oh, right. We should get a guy for the monk. If we're setting up on the posts here.
You can use my other one.
I was going to.
Aha!
Does
I was
that help
going
at all,
to use
Reese?
this monk.
Ah.
Yes, and then the guard is over this way. So he's technically out of shot of the camera, probably.
Okay.
So.
Does that help to have the two viewpoints, or?
Yeah, that does. That's good.
Alright. So, I'm leaning closer to the man that is tied to the flare post.
Mm-hmm.
What are you in for?
He kind of tilts his head back, and you can see that he's kind of got like a few cut marks across his face and on his chest and everything. And he shakes his head a little bit to try and clear everything, and he looks over and he sees a devil.
Chose the wrong deity. Crap.
And he goes, they found out I was working to stop him. What are you in for?
Little gnome.
We have a big
Opens
mouth.
big
No.
mouth.
That would be me.
He kind of leans forward on his post and he looks to the left
I'm gonna wink at him. Ting.
and he goes, "That's a lot of you." I'm Leo Sin.
Oh, we've heard so much about you. We're
We're
actually
here to rescue you.
And
what the drugs.
he checks his bonds. He's like, "Well, thanks for trying."
Can you hear me from where I'm at?
I mean, if you talk loud enough.
I don't want to talk too loud, so I'll tell you.
We're
It's
playing
time for a game of telephone.
Alright. What do you want me to tell him?
Ask him if the guards have like a rotation, a schedule, anything. We just need information. Anything he can tell us.
Have you noticed if the guards have a specific rotation, a certain schedule?
Whoa. There's some construction going on over there.
There you go.
He's playing Don't Break the Ice with his kids.
No.
That's a good game.
He broke the ice.
He broke the ice. I mean, yeah, they rotate every 6 hours or so. Are you guys really here to break me out?
Are we really here to
I
break him
want
out?
to talk. I'm too far away.
Can I hear him?
So,
Talk to Brom.
if
Brom,
yeah,
talk to the dude.
if you want, you can go down the trail. You gotta get through Thornock
That'll
first.
take too long.
Bром's gonna flub it up.
We've only got till
Rumor has
11
it.
o'clock.
Yeah.
Rumor has it.
I'd say we should ask him more about himself and the guy that sent us. I mean, what was the guy's name?
Listen.
Nessun?
Nessun sent us here to find you.
My apprentice is alive. That's a little bit of a relief. Whew. Yeah, well, I mean, thanks for coming. Hopefully you guys can get out of here.
But we plan to.
Okay, good. And then once I'm done here, I'll meet you back at Greenest.
Done here. Do you think they'll let you live? I can't. You can't.
I mean, they've already kind of sentenced me to death, but I'm sure I can get out. But there's still more to learn.
You kind of look like you're going to be barbecued.
What have you learned so far? What's their motive? Why are they attacking villages?
So as far as I can tell, and I've been traveling a long way, all up and down the Sword Coast to try and figure out what this cult is and what they're planning on doing. There's something big going on. They're not doing their usual summoning Draco Liches anymore. They're not making undead dragons like they should be. They're collecting something, and they're trying to bring her back.
Bring who back?
Tiamat. They're trying to bring her back from hell.
Then what's all the treasure for that they've been pillaging?
Well, it's hers. They need a good offering for when she does come back. I mean, she's the queen of all dragons. She's got to have a good treasure hoard, right?
Treasure hoard.
That explains a lot.
Do I know anything about rituals or anything? I mean, I do study.
Do you want to know if you have a ritual, like if you know about a ritual that would summon a great deity? Go
Just see
ahead.
if I
Go
can
ahead and roll me
see,
Arcana.
Like if I know any of the details. See, Arcana +5. 10.
Matters beyond your ken, sir.
Okay. Guys, I don't really know anything about these, stuff.
Look,
So, go ahead.
you guys are obviously pretty new at infiltration. I mean, I've
Some
been,
of us are more new than others.
One of us is new at infiltration.
I'm doing a song of rest. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar.
I kick him.
How long have you been here?
you get some dirt in your face. That's as far as it'll go. I've been here for about a week.
Holy.
Yeah, Resmir wants something out of me. I'm not sure what yet.
Who?
Reservoir?
Oh, you probably saw her. She's the big half dragon lady.
Black.
Yes.
Half black.
Mhm. Yeah, not the blue one. That guy's pretty scary even for me.
This guy, this chick, knocked him over. Looks sweet.
Really, you took out
I
Cyan
simply
Wraith?
broke his spear and bloodied him a little before he nearly cut me in half.
Okay, that sounds about right. Yeah.
It was a great moment for all of us. When he broke the spear, not the other part.
Look, Resmir runs day-to-day, or doesn't run day-to-day operations. She just set up the whole camp for basically a base of operations until they're ready to move. The one that you really have to look out for, and he kind of looks over and he says, "It's coming right now, so shh." And a woman in purple robes, kind of purple and gold, more like. She looks like this. For anyone who is interested, and we'll put it.
She looks mean. Reese will be there in about 15 seconds.
No worries.
For about 5. So she walks up and she's flanked by 2 other guards wearing that same rear guard studded leather armor. And she walks down the row and kind of looks at each of you. And she stops at Brahm and he goes, "Him first." And they come over
Mom,
and
I've always loved
they
you. As a
they
friend.
untie your ropes and they pick
Thank
you up.
God.
My dear lady, thank you.
And she's just walking back. She's walking back towards the big tent now.
Oh, crap.
And the guards just carry you, one in each arm, with your little feet
Bro, sing a
dangling.
song. You trick him.
You're quite strong, you know that?
Well, I mean, you're not really heavy,
Kick, little man.
so.
As I'm taking him away once they're out of earshot, I ask Wilson if he has any ideas for an escape plan.
Well, I mean, I have my knife.
Cut your dang ropes, bro.
I'm not done learning yet. Plus, I mean, and he kind of. he
Fair
kind
enough.
of flazes or struggles with his arms a little bit.
Do you know,
Raises,
do you know
please.
what's going on inside the cave?
Yeah, that's the hatchery, from what I understand. I don't know much about it. It seems like Resmir's trying to hatch dragons in there, though. But yeah,
And how is that related to the ritual, the Tiamat ritual?
I think it's more to bolster her army. I'm not sure. I think I haven't really figured too much out about what the different ritual pieces are yet. I just know that they're planning something different than normal.
Where did
Figured
they?
out. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Where this ritual is supposed to take place? Not yet.
Yeah, he shrugs in his. His flayed position.
Where did they take Brahm?
Oh, the main tent over there is basically where Resmir, Fulrem, and Cyan Wraith kind of just set up camp.
Who's for him?
You just saw her. Yeah,
What's her
she's
name?
Frollam is technically her name, but I'll call her Fulham.
I'm gonna start taking notes.
Frulam.
Maybe it'll help improve my intelligence score.
These are drunk
We can just call her
names.
Mondath because that's her last name. So,
From Amanda.
yep.
Fura.
Speaking of which, she sits down at a very nice chair behind a desk, and the guards roughly push you onto a very, very wooden, very hard chair.
Oh,
And-
why thank you, kind sirs. This is the.
And then
best
they tie your
accommodations
hands
I've had
behind
all
your
day.
back.
Unnecessary, but thank you.
You caused quite the stir around camp, sir.
My dearest apologies. This was not my intentions.
Yeah, I think it was resume.
And
Grab some water.
she just kind of looks over a few things, kind of strains a few things. That kind of that look of somebody who's like middle management.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes, "So who are you?"
I am a servant of Tiamat first and foremost, but in my former life before joining, I was a renowned leadman, and I would sing songs and all those who came in contact with me, enjoyed a tale or two. But again, I've now since devoted my life entirely to Tiamat.
Go ahead and roll me a deception check.
Let's do the purple one today.
Purple!
Come on, purple.
13 plus
It's probably high.
deception.
Yep.
13 plus 3. 16. I mean,
She writes something down. You're behind your back. You're like, slap your hands together. Yeah. So, and where is it that you're from?
I am from traveled far and wide, but when I was first born, it was in Neverwinter, and my parents grew up.
Your current home.
My current home, it is here in the camp.
Roll
Preparing
me
for
another deception check.
Preparing for the glorious
Oh
return
boy.
of Tiamat.
Oh, natural one.
Okay, my dear lady, it seems I've lied to you. I right now I find my home in the stockade.
What are you doing in my camp?
I was here. We were. Just trying to get breakfast, and we're hungry, and I just came and.
Roll me one more deception check.
The rolls suck today.
I was going to give you a disadvantage, but I see I don't even need that. She just kind of shakes her head and she waves. Take him away and bring me the big one.
It has been an honor. Thank you for having me in your presence. Oh, great one.
They
Lift him up.
While this is all going on,
Yeah.
I try like a sleight of hand or something.
Sure.
To see if I can wiggle my way out of my.
yeah, go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand.
You're proficient in that, right?
Yeah.
So he gets advantage?
No,
Oh.
he gets his proficiency
Oh,
bonus.
that's right, that's right.
Oh wait, it's a 20. Oh thank goodness. Oh my god, it's crappy roll. 13 plus 5, 18.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're starting to work on those bonds, and you're starting to get those like the loops done so that they are more of a easy slip out loop. So when you need to, you can pop them free pretty quickly. It might take a few more checks to do, and it might also take them not getting to you first.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're pretty confident that the ropes that they're tying, like the knots that they're tying, are pretty standard shanks, sea shanks or whatever they are. I don't know ropes. I don't know knots. Sea shanties?
Slipknot.
Yes,
They
they sing songs as they're tying the ropes. In fact, the two guards come back and they tie up Brahm. He's the one singing the song. And then and then two more guards come up And then they all look at Thornock, and then they turn to the other guard that is with them, and they say, "You want to help us with this guy?" And he nods, and they untie Thornock, and the 5 of them. Oh, go on.
I growl very loudly.
Am I coming back at this point?
Yes, you are tied to the post again.
I think she likes me.
The 5 of them like pull weapons on you, and they just like lead you to the tent, like just like jab you to the tent.
How much taller am I than them?
Probably about a head and a half.
I lean to the guards. Are the guards that attach me, or the ones that are doing?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be like, the best way to subdue him is by tickling.
If you tickle me, I will kill you.
He's not lying there. He's not lying. Don't test him.
So they lead you off to the tent. They don't sit you down and tie you up. The woman inside just looks up and then looks up a little higher at you. You're a big feller.
I just stare at her.
That's perfect. What's your name?
Thornock.
Okay, you don't have to roll me a deception check. That was good. Where do you come from, Thornock?
Far away.
Can you be more specific for me?
Well, I could.
She gives you a little bit of a smirk, and she says, "What are you doing in my camp, Thornock?"
That's a really good question. I'd like to make a deal with you. I'm in it for gold.
Go on.
And if you pay me more than the other guys, I'll switch sides.
And how much are they paying you?
I'm not good with numbers, but it's about 8 pounds.
8 pounds?
8 pounds. Sure. I could pay you more than 8 pounds.
Like big pounds, not small pounds.
Right, of course, of course. Big bruiser like yourself, we could use you over at the South Watchtower, actually.
As long as I get my sword Josephine back, I'm in.
Of course, and she nods to the guards, and they all put away their weapons, and one of them's like, "Yeah, this way, buddy." Oh, and
So I go ahead and follow him.
and bring me that wizard next. And so you all watch as the tent opens up, and one guard leads Thornock to the armory,
What a dick.
and the 2 other guards come back, and
My eyes get really wide when I see him go in the armory. I'm like, oh, F.
and then Thornock comes out as they're untying Akio. And they start leading you towards the tent, and you see that Thornock strapping his sword back to his back. And they point and they say, "South." Actually, it's not the South Tower; it'd be the West Tower, because South is a completely different direction. West Tower is
Where
over
we
there.
came from.
I'm going to do everything I can not to make eye contact.
With action.
I stare really, really hard at him.
He's avoiding
I
you pretty
just-
well.
Like I just want to just murder her.
Roll me a perception
No.
check to look anywhere but Thornock.
6
6.
plus. 6 plus perception is 0. Okay, 6.
Yeah, so you're kind of trying to avoid him, and you go like this, but you forget just how tall he is. So you think being up this high and your eyesight is good, but you realize his face is right there, and he's just staring right at you.
Smile.
Boo.
And then the guard kind of walks off and says, "Come on, let's go. Shift starts."
I talk
So I follow him.
to Leosin. I say, I think I could make my way out of these ropes.
And he kind of looks around and he says, "It's broad daylight. Are you sure you want to try that now?"
I was going to see if you would suggest doing so.
I would wait till nightfall myself. But, I'm waiting till nightfall anyway, so.
How confident are you that you can make an escape when the time is necessary.
Let's see. And he kind of, you can barely see him like tensing a little bit, and you can tell that he's checking his muscles. Like, how's everything feeling right now? Is this sore? That's still a little wounded. You know, this isn't. He's like, 50%. But if it means more knowledge, I'm gonna wait.
How would you plan on getting out of the camp alive if you could break your bonds?
And he just gives you a smile and he says, "Guile."
I say, okay, we'll follow your lead then.
So they lead Akio into the tent and they sit you down. They don't actually bind your hands. They realize that they just each draw their swords and just kind of casually have them next to you. And Felina looks up and she says, "Well, wizard, who are you?"
Usually I have a drink paid for by the other person before I answer that.
She grabs a decanter and pours something into a pewter cup and slides it to you.
Don't drink it. You drink it.
Summer wine. Quite good.
Yeah, too bad it's fall.
Well, it tastes great. Anyways, I'm Akio Whiskey. Wizard.
All right. And where are you from?
I'm from everywhere. And nowhere. All at the same time.
Where did you come from most recently?
Greenest.
Really?
Small little town. Got great bars and taverns.
Thank you so much. Bring me that devil-looking one. And they pick you up and
Off the hook.
they take
just
you
from
out.
Taverns and bars.
I got a free drink.
What a free sip.
Worth. Hashtag worth.
Your side now. Top shelf.
All right, so as they're switching you two out for each other, you get to the west watchtower, Reese, and there's a couple kobolds there that kind of just eye you and kind of shrink away. And the guard says, "I'm supposed to be here with you, so don't do anything funny and don't try to leave camp, okay?"
As long as I'm getting gold, it's fine.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid that we don't trust you, obviously, yet.
Well, I don't like you, so stop asking me questions.
Dude, I'm just doing my job here. All right, I'll be on the second level. Jeez. And he walks up the steps.
I growl at the kobolds.
They all kind of cower away a little bit. And they scamper. Yep. They'll be back in greater numbers.
Can I make a perception check
Sure.
to see if I can see leader lady and other leader people, or leader-like people?
Sure, you can go ahead and make a perception.
19.
All right, with the 19, you see that Resmir is standing next to the cave entrance at the back of the camp. And she's talking with the guards that are standing post there. You don't see anybody else, but you do see Lunera being guided into the tent where where Mondath is. We'll just call her Mondath. I hate her first name. I should change it.
Mondath.
So you, Lunera, get sat down, and Mondath is there, and she says, "Do you want a drink too?"
No thanks.
Good. And she takes the pewter cup and she just like pours it out onto a brazier. So, who are you, Tiefling?
I'm Lunera.
Eating?
No, he's typing.
And you are?
Sorry.
I'm Mondath. So what's a Tiefling doing in my camp?
Seemed like a good idea at the time. Just to wander into a random camp, see what I can find.
Right. Looking for work then.
Somewhat.
Go and roll me a deception. I'm giving you advantage on this.
Oh!
Because your race.
So you roll again.
Pull
And
the
use
wreath
the higher. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're an evil creature,
Eh,
usually.
Better.
It's not
So
much
8
better.
plus your deception.
8 plus deception 0, so it's just
8.
an 8.
Yeah. And where is it that you most recently came from?
Small little town, Green Brook, I think was the name. I am not very good with name of towns, but
All right. And then she's about to tell the guards to switch out when the curtain pulls back and Resmir comes in and she says, Mondath, bring me that other monk.
Oh snap!
Thank you for your time. The guards will see you back to your post. And the guards haul you up and drag you back out to the post.
I tell the guards, I didn't get to finish my drink. Can you please bring me more? Please?
Doesn't sound like Mondath is.
control yourself.
So, and then Mondath actually leaves the tent, and you see her walking back towards the cave as the guards come over and they untie Ari.
So
Yep.
they just ignored me, I'm guessing.
Thought about
You
it.
got your
Oh yeah, they're ignoring you. They're guards, and they grab you and they pull out their swords as they're escorting you as well. They know what kind of danger one with your type of outfit can be.
Oh boy.
I mean, they've been dealing with another one. And Leosyn gets a good look at you and he says, "Good luck, elf."
If you want her to like you, smile.
Is he a half elf?
He is a half elf. Yep.
good job, Rom. Good advice.
Free drink.
I say thanks, brother.
Only if you ask.
He nods at you like he appreciates that a little bit. And then they lead you into the tent and they bind you to the chair. And the black hat dragon is sitting there and she's tapping her claws on the desk. And she says, "Are you with him?"
I say, I seem to recall having faced one of your kind in combat recently.
"You're from Greenest."
Yes.
And she looks over at one of the guards and she says, "Give me Cyan Wraith." And he nods and walks off and she goes, and she leans forward and she says, "I would like to show you something. And I'm hoping that you can help me in exchange for, say, your freedom."
No.
I say, that's possible.
And she reaches into a pouch and she pulls out this scroll case, and it's a very fine, like, black leather, and she pops the top off of it and she pulls out a scroll and she hands it to you. "Can you read this for me?"
If it's in Latin, don't read it.
If it's
Demonic summoning, always.
I say, my hands are tied.
She snaps her fingers and the ropes burn away.
Wow. Impressive.
She knows Arcana.
Okay. I open the
So
scroll.
you open it up, and this is the blackest ink that you have ever seen on this scroll. And you can tell that it's a lot of, like, ancient monk scripture, you know, like that kind of monastery that every monastery pretty much has their own individual style of this, but it's all the same kind of calligraphy and everything.
It's Kanban.
It's written in this fancy script, but as you're reading it, you realize that it's nonsense, or it almost seems like nonsense. So go ahead and roll me a history check, and you get advantage on this.
Was it a drunk monk? Oh,
History.
These are so
Next one. Curse you, 8 intelligence.
Is there a streetwise?
Acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, athletics, deception, history, insight, intimidation, investigation, medicine, nature, perception, performance, persuasion, religion,
No.
sleight of hand, stealth, and survival.
We'll go sleight of hand. Actually, that's the closest one that I can think of, and you still have advantage.
Okay. So 20 and 23.
23. It's Thieves' Cant. The script is written in Thieves' Cant, and as you're reading through it, you're pretty sure that this is a forbidden monk art that you're looking at here,
Art, but what do you mean by
like martial art, and it
like a seal.
like up at the top it
A pretty
again, it's
picture.
all Thieves' Cant, which is why no other monk has probably been able to read it before. Luckily, you from your
Grew up on the
background,
streets.
yeah, you know at least a bit of thieves can't to get by. It's been years, but you're pretty sure it's talking about the way of the shadow.
Secret jutsu.
Way of the shadow.
And she kind of has her claws together like this, and she's tapping them. Well,
That's gotta be
I
annoying.
say, it looks like nonsense to me.
I was afraid you'd say that.
Uh-oh.
Oh, don't kill her.
And then the door flap opens, and Cyan Wraith comes in, and you can hear his armor well before you turn around to look at him. And he comes up and he says, "What do you want, Resmir?" And then he looks to the side and he goes, "Oh, you're alive."
I just look at him and I bow. In a respectful way.
Mhm.
As in, like, well met,
Yeah.
worthy opponent.
Hello again.
Kind of way.
We're meeting again for the first time.
Greetings, traveler.
Yep.
I acknowledge you, senpai.
And he does give you a little nod, and he goes, "Is this what you wanted me to see?" "Yes." "Yeah, I would say get rid of him."
Her.
Her.
Oh.
It's easy to confuse.
All of you humanoids look alike to me. I mean, they're dragons. You can't tell that Resmir is technically a woman.
That's true.
And she nods and she says, "I think I will." And she looks to the guards and she nods at them, and everybody kind of stands up a little bit.
No.
I say, what was this deal that you had in mind?
"If you could read the scroll for me, I would give you freedom in exchange for you telling me its secrets."
Everybody was
Can I call a timeout?
fighting.
Just do it. We can win later. Get the small victory.
Memorize
to
it,
them. We'll get the
And then use
best.
against them. Put in fallacies.
What does your heart tell you?
I say, let me formulate my words here. I say, it's possible that I can read it, but I would never divulge these secrets to one such as yourself.
That's what the other one was telling me too. I wonder if torture would work any better on you.
I say, how has it worked so far for Leosin?
She gives one of those like chuckles, like a dragon chuckle, you know, like you're just like. Quite true. Take him away, and she sets. It's very difficult for me. I'm not used to that. She sets the scroll down on the table and stands up and starts walking out. The guards kind of come towards you. So they're going to take you back.
How many of them are there?
There are two, and Cyan Wraith is walking back towards the door as well with Resmir.
And
You gonna make
she
a
burned
move?
the ropes with a snap of her finger. I don't think I can take them all.
Okay.
Maybe if the half-orc were nearby, but he sold us out and went to the tower.
How many guards are near us while we're doing this?
Still one.
Still one?
Still that same one.
I want to be talking to him in the meantime, being like, "Hey, you know, I'm supposed to be to my post soon here. Are we going to be done soon?"
Post. This is your post. Like this post.
Oh, I was
Your
told I was
prisoner
supposed to be at a different post. You're right. Huh?
So the guards
Understood.
bring Ari out, and they bind you back up again with the original knots, not with your
Loosened ones.
loosened ones. Yep.
What happened? You were in there way longer than we were.
I say, she tried to buy me out. I refused.
Did she show you the scroll? Asked Leosin.
I said she did.
And what did you make of it?
I could understand it.
Really? I'd be interested to learn what it said.
I'd be interested to learn what the scroll is about.
Oh well.
What they said.
And Mondath comes up with a couple guards at this point, and she points at the four of you and she says, "You all think I'm an idiot. That much is true.
True.
That's the first honest thing at least somebody said to me. You're honestly all from Greenest.
I'm ashamed, my lady, of my upbringing.
Greenness, that's what it was.
Good taverns, I hear.
Yes.
I mean, I know.
And recently raided, so I'm obviously assuming you're all here to work together to try and bring us down. So it pains me, and you can tell that she's just being sarcastic. You don't have to roll insight for that. To say that you'll all be put to death in the morning. Would you roll that insight? A 4.
Dang.
She's sincere.
You think she's sincere?
Yep. Like, well, then don't do it. If it hurts that much. Enjoy your last night. I'm afraid we don't have a last meal or drink for any of you.
I feel like it's customary to have the last meal, last drink.
It's also customary for me to kill you right now, but Resmir wants you alive until the morning so that we can make a show of it, along with this one. And she nods her head over to Leosin, who gives her kind of a... He gives her like a 2-fingered salute, but it's kind of ruined because his arm is completely away from his head.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. And then she walks off.
Good luck. I'll say as she walks away. You'll need it.
Better add another guard just in case.
Damn it.
I
You guys
need
need
to
to
talk.
stop talking.
That's why we're friends.
Yes. Thornock, how are you doing? How's guard duty going?
Really bored. I want to see if there's anything weapon-wise or something that I can light things on fire with around me.
Well, there's
Or
a
in the
brazier
camp
with
from
a
what I
bunch
can
of
see.
torches in it.
There's a what?
There's a giant brazier at the bottom of this tower with a bunch of torches kind of sitting in it or next to it.
Wait and
Okay. How long am I going to be on duty?
Shifts are 6 hours.
So at nightfall-ish, would I be getting off?
Yeah, just about nightfall.
Okay.
In
Well,
fact, we'll
so
just kind of
I'm gonna
skip ahead if nobody's got anything else going on.
I just want to loosen my
Yeah.
my
Let's
ropes
just
again.
consider
Okay,
this short
go ahead and roll a
rest.
sleight of hand. You have advantage this time because you did it before.
Ah, that's better. 12 plus 5, 17.
Yep. So you got those back to where you need them. In fact, you're pretty sure the guards didn't notice. They didn't try to bind you with any extra ropes or anything. They just seemed to tie you up with the same ropes. Not the burned ones, obviously.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I make a perception check
Yes,
to
go
see
ahead.
what would be the best spot to light the camp on fire?
Okay. If you were planning an escape, perhaps.
Yes.
You triple agent, you.
Double, triple, double.
I don't trust him.
Go ahead and roll.
He's too dumb to betray us, though.
The camp showing up.
21.
Okay. So, your friends are here in Area 3, and you're over here at the West Watchtower. You'll see this in 15 seconds. If you were looking to make an escape, then you probably want to do a distraction right around this area, pretty much the same place you guys were planning before, because you figure that if you do it down in this lower area, the humans aren't going to care as much about a bunch of kobolds being on fire.
Okay, so up by the
Up by the east tower right here.
Okay, cool. So I thought I was in the east tower the whole time.
Oh, okay. No, you're
But
in the
it's
west
okay.
tower.
Surprise! Wrong post.
Okay.
I say to Leosin, it seems like it's now or never. I don't know what other information we can learn. What else do you hope to learn?
Look, if you guys are wanting to drag me out of here, I'm too weak to stop you. But I honestly feel like I could learn a little bit more. Well, you guys can go. I'll be
Before
fine to make it
dawn?
back on my own.
You're gonna die at dawn.
Well, maybe.
Then
I
what
could make it
information
out
will
of here.
you give if you're dead?
Well, I gave you pretty much all the information I have so far, so
So come with us.
So what else do you hope to learn?
I don't know. Maybe I can learn a little bit more about their plans, where they're going. Who knows?
Well, the problem is we don't have. I mean, if we do escape, where do we go?
The cave.
Back to Greenest, down into the hatchery, and
Go to
trap
the-
ourselves.
Go to
We
the
could ride a
hatchery.
dragon out. It'd be sweet.
Go to the hatchery.
That cave door does
try
not
to
look
destroy
big
as
enough for a
many
dragon,
eggs
for a full dragon.
as we
Can we have this conversation while the 6 hours are passing?
Yeah, mhm.
Into dusk.
Yep.
Um,
I don't think going into the hatchery is a good idea.
yeah,
I mean,
Where
there's.
would you
get
go?
trapped.
You've been here longer.
I'd get out of Dodge. Once I'm out of here, I'm heading back to Greenest. I got to go get my apprentice and head back to find out what I know.
Going back to Greenest is a good idea, though.
We need to learn more about these guys. Greenest Library sucks. I've been there. We need a bigger library. We need to go to a bigger city with more information.
You mean more taverns?
That too.
That's two
But a library as well. Greenest had zero information on what was happening. Maybe we can go to your monastery? Do you have
Besides-
information on this?
Burdusk is pretty far away. I'd want to still go to Greenest to supply up. And
I say, where else in this camp would you look for information?
I just kind of been listening around.
Could we steal the scroll?
We could go to Manda Dewey's. I don't know her
What-
name.
Mond.
What?
Mona-
Sorry, it's probably too late to ask at this point. But when we were, they took us into the tent.
Yes.
Right? What else was in there other than people?
The tent was basically just furnished for like an opulent office.
Okay.
It had a few like. It had like a tray of food on it. You know, it didn't look to be like a bunch of treasure. It
So
just
they
looked to
they
be.
weren't hoarding the
No.
the pillage
No.
goods from
Yeah.
in there. Were they in the cave? I asked Leo.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call him Leo.
That's fine.
Leo Dio.
Most people call me Sin, so this is better. Yeah, most of the treasure ends up into the cave until they're ready to move it.
Do you know how big the cave is?
I've never been inside. They don't really let anybody but those that are on a first name basis with Mondath in.
And how many?
Hey, she knows my first name.
How many guards are there guarding the?
She knows all
Cave
of our
and
names.
The cave entrance. The cave entrance.
I don't know if I told her my name.
But she likes you.
She does like me. Just have that
Who
way.
doesn't like a
Charismatic gnome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me.
Go back
You're,
to the west.
you're far
Tower.
away.
Let's see.
Or resting. Is there any way I can use my song of rest to help that Mr. Leosin to be in top shape?
Sure. Yeah, you can go ahead. And it'll alleviate a little bit of his pain, but a lot of his wounds seem to be deeper than just kind of these shallow cuts that you're used to healing.
Alright.
So he's still going to be weak.
You don't need to. I mean, I don't think we should.
It's
cave.
I mean, there's two guards, two of the rather wicked-looking guards that he refers to as dragon claws in your kind of conversation with him, and then he says that it's pretty close to the tent.
And Cyan.
Yeah, Cyan Wraith is in there, and
Cyan Wraith.
mhm.
I asked him. Well, I just say, assuming that we make an escape, and when we make it back to Greenest alive,
Mhm.
where would you go from there?
I would continue my research. I would probably move on to Burdusk or see if I could watch the camp from afar to see what other movements they would have. And once they finally move on, which I hear that they may be planning on soon, see what else I could do about what's left behind.
I say, well, we can't leave you here to die.
Yeah.
So
All right.
we'd like to see if we can escape once it gets dark.
Sure.
And bring you with us.
Right. Well, I'll spend the next few hours mentally preparing then. It's going to be a hard journey.
Can I try to loosen my bonds?
Yes, you can try and loosen your bonds. Thornock, your shift has ended.
8 plus 0.
No.
It's okay.
So,
So if I can get out.
as I make my way
Okay.
through the camp, I'm going to grab a torch because it's getting dark.
This is sliding.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and roll me a perception check as you're doing this too. It's sleight of hand, yes.
17.
17. Yeah.
My skinny little wrists.
Yeah. You're actually
13.
You're like picking at it for the 6 hours. 13. You do notice that that same guard that was watch with you is following you at kind of a distance. He's just moving from tent to tent.
So I too just rolled
So,
sleight of hand to.
I wanna go
And I rolled 17 plus 1.
through
18. Yeah, your bonds are
and
Come on, guys, I got this.
I want to try to find a bottle of booze.
I'm not
Okay.
I'm trying to like Hulk out of him instead of trying to.
Yeah, it should be no problem. You're able to get a bottle from just anybody. Nobody's going to stop you if you pick up one of their bottles. That's
I want to pick up 3 of their bottles.
okay. Go ahead and roll me an intimidate check then to try and intimidate them out of more of their alcohol.
21.
Yeah, they yeah, it's yours, man. Just here, and they push 3 of the. They're just like these pewter bottles. People make bottles out of
Okay,
pewter. Right?
so
I don't know. They
I
do in this
I
world.
put,
Poisonous.
how many does that give me? That gives me 3 total.
Yep, you got 3 total.
So I pull the cork out of one and I just start hammering it back.
Okay. The
And
guard watching you kind of just like slinks against one of the tents out of sight of everybody else. Just idly like leaning against it, trying to act casual, but you've spotted him at this point, so he's not really casual. At this point, it's pretty dark for everybody else. Is anybody else making a move?
Okay. How light is it around?
It's
like where we are.
where your guys are at. It's about dim light.
Okay.
Basically, your low light vision is kicking in at this point, not your dark vision,
Right.
but low light. So
Dim enough to make
Yep.
a stealth check if
yeah,
it came to it.
if you'd like to go ahead and make one.
Okay, I try and get all the way out of my bonds.
Okay.
There's just the one guard still.
Yep.
Okay.
How far away is he?
He is about 30 feet. So your bonds slip away easily.
And I guess I'll try and make a stealth check so I can make my way over to Leosin.
Mhm.
I want to assist him and cast dancing lights away. So like, we're over here, he's over here.
Okay.
I want to cast it over here and just make like little darting lights
Oh.
go in between. Like I'm assuming there's like tents and stuff over,
Mhm.
like crates. I just want to be like, just to get him to look over there.
Are they all the same color, or are they going to be different colors?
They'll be
22.
22.
Mm-hmm.
all of them like a little little red firefly light.
Okay. And he watches them and he shakes his head and he goes, the acolytes must be racing again. and at that point, your bonds come loose and you kind of just drop into the shadows.
Okay.
And we'll pause there and go back to Thornock for a moment. Which
So I start to act like I'm slaughtered drunk about halfway through that bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm new, I'm going to act like I'm really lost and wander towards the west or the east tower and the tents below it
Okay.
with my torch and my bottles.
Okay. Again, the
And I'm
guard
gonna-
is following behind you.
I'm going to be belligerent, loud drunk,
Okay.
yelling how I'm going to kill this little gnome.
You guys hear distant shouting of, that stupid gnome! I'm gonna take him out!
And I'm just gonna look over at him and be like,
Check him out.
And that will further distract this guard. So he's got disadvantage on this. And a -2.
Once I get my wand.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, he does not see you.
Okay. I'm gonna creep over here to Leosin and ask him to give me his knife.
And he goes, boot pocket.
Okay.
Left.
I grab it.
Okay.
See, you like my actions here?
Yep.
I grab it like that. And then, I mean, coast is clear, like nobody's looking at us right now.
Nope, the guard still appears distracted. Let me just double check that. Yeah, he's still distracted.
Okay.
Those lights are pretty pretty.
I cut him loose.
Okay. And he kind of does that 3-point crouch. His fingers don't quite touch the ground in super stealth Genji mode.
And then I cut Braum loose, and you guys were about at the point of.
Go ahead and roll me stealth checks for the both of you, please. You
19 plus. Where's my stove?
Thornock, what about you? What are you doing? 20.
So I'm still being loud, belligerent, drunk,
Okay.
and
13.
I'm gonna poke my head into one of the tents and ask for directions really loudly. And I'm gonna try to accidentally light the tent on fire while I'm at it.
Okay, this will be a sleight of hand check.
20.
It's a 14.
15. And just a moment here. Okay, so the tent catches fire, and
I scream loudly and look at the nearest person and ask where water is.
and they go down that way, and he points towards the west again, and he starts shouting for some kobolds to bring some buckets. And in fact, the guard that has been following you, he grabs your torch and puts it out, stamps it out on the ground, and then starts working on the tent. Just giving you a glare like you drunken idiot, not like I'm on to you.
I take a drink and I spit it in his face.
Okay, go ahead and just roll me a d20.
It's a 7.
Quite spit it in his face.
Yeah, so
You're too tall.
Yeah, you kind of spit it in his hair a little bit.
You shower him a little bit.
Yeah.
Bird bath.
Little sprinkle, but he manages to dodge most of it, and he just kind of like, what the heck, man?
And I belch loudly.
Get out of here! Just go!
So I wander off towards. I'm gonna act like I'm heading south, and then I'm gonna cut through the Cobalt camp.
Uh-huh.
And while I do that, I'm gonna see if I can throw one of the bottles into their fire and catch more of the camp on fire.
Okay. Roll me a dex check, a ranged attack here. And while you're doing that, what are you guys doing now? You are all free, and this guard is now looking at this tent that's caught fire.
I want to take my little dancing lights and turn it back into my little dancing man and have him wave at the guard.
So he's watching the tent. Is anybody else doing this while he's doing the waving at the guard? Is anybody else doing anything?
I'm just getting closer to these guys so we can make a break.
Yeah, I just asked Lewis and which way should we go?
You said you took out the rear guard, right?
Yep.
West.
Okay. Can we make it through this camp?
And he looks over at the tent on fire, and he says, probably.
Okay. Let's go.
Probably a good thing that I told them, so they didn't fulfill that rear guard.
Okay.
I said quietly.
And then, so the guard sees the dancing man, and then he's going to go like this. He's going to tilt his head to the right and to the left, and then he's going to blink, and he's going to start turning around.
Okay.
But we're all stealth, right?
Well, stealth is in in the shadows.
Let's take them out.
Okay.
I can move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I got 45, so
Okay, so you can slide up to him.
can I try and take them out? I got my slip my iron knuckles on.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Go ahead and roll me an attack, and then if
I'll
that
chain
doesn't-
mine when his moving
He'll
thing.
get his attack, and then we'll go into combat to see what goes next.
17 plus 5, 22.
So that is a hit. let's just make sure.
Unless he just completely.
Yep, he's hit.
Headphones off.
And damage is
Crap! I hit him too hard.
2 plus 3, 5.
Okay. So you knock him once in the kidney and he kind of collapses to one knee, but he's still up.
And my unarmed strike.
Okay.
15.
A 15 will hit.
Yes. And 6.
6. That's enough. You clock him in the side of the head with your second attack, and he goes unconscious. But you do the cool catch him with your right hand before he thumps to the ground.
Okay.
Dancing Lights guy gets that maniacal evil smile.
The Cheshire Grin.
Cheshire cat.
Cheshire grin.
Yes.
And then I want to dispel it, so it's.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's start making our way west.
All right. Thornock, what was your attack roll?
Do I get to add anything like my strength modifier?
It would be your dex because you're throwing something.
Oh, then it's an even 20.
It's an even 20? All right, yeah, you hit the fire pit and it just shatters and sprays this blast of fiery liquid over a few of the tents, and the kobolds just kind of shriek and scatter a bit more, running for more buckets as another tent catches on fire. And then the guards at the tower look over and they kind of look down at you and they debate a moment, and let's see. They're just gonna look away. They see a half orc on a rampage and they don't want to deal with it.
In the meantime, I'm going to open the other bottle and pretend to take a drink and maybe do the I ran a marathon and poured over my face a little bit. So they know I'm real sloppy drunk.
All right.
Save some for me.
So
Give
stealth
some
checks
for
for
the
the rest of the
actual
group. Who is so Leosin is not strong enough to walk on his own. Is somebody who is going to help him?
I'm too short.
Okay.
I'll help
Yeah,
him.
you've got the highest strength, I'm sure.
Yep. So you actually will take a disadvantage on this roll,
Oh.
on the stealth roll.
Oh, special.
24.
24.
9? Yeah, 9.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
So did you roll twice and use the lower
Oh,
result?
I haven't.
something.
Sorry.
Plus, yeah.
14.
14.
Yeah.
So you
24.
use the
So
lower
I
result.
lose-
So
yeah.
it's 9 still.
24.
24, and that was a natural,
Natural
20. 21. They're 24, and then 9 and 9. Wow, that's pretty incredible, guys.
I want to stay a
Symmetrical.
little bit away from the group, just in the shadow.
So you only
Somebody
needed
catch
half
all.
to
Hey, guys,
to
did
get
you
this
see
group
the fire?
stealth check, and then no, not right now, Akio. So you guys are able to kind of move along. There is one guard that kind of spots these two as they're running through, and you carrying Leosin, but then all of a sudden he gets a headlock and he goes to sleep pretty quickly as Ari just moves on back into the shadows. So we're all heading west, just heading directly out of camp. Okay, no stops to make.
Wait.
Well,
I need to get my
I should.
Armor.
I do need some.
weapons.
Well,
We
yeah.
need weapons.
I say. I ask Leosin, I say, how badly do you want to know what's in that scroll?
I mean, looking from it, it seems like forbidden magic that I shouldn't really dabble with. Or forbidden arts, I should say.
I
Is
say,
this really the time?
But
we
I
should
don't think it
probably
would
keep
be-
moving.
I want my sword
I don't think it would be good in their hands either.
and my loot.
I know.
You gotta go for the loot!
I gotta get my loot.
I
L-U-T-E.
couldn't try to scroll.
L-U-T-E.
I'm really good with magic
I
and
mean-
libraries.
They're gonna notice we're gone pretty
And
quickly.
taverns.
how far away is the?
So you guys are probably, and I'll pull this back up. I need a piece of paper or two. Anybody got just blank paper, just so that I can
Yes.
cover over all of the words? So that one,
Is that enough, or should I do one more?
that should be fine.
Put the goblin in there. Oh.
Okay, fine. We'll
Yay!
All right, so you guys are about, and that's up on camera, right?
Yep.
Perfect. So you guys have made it probably to about here. I think Reese just saw the goblin.
Now, but everybody's missing like all their weapons and armor.
Yes, you have a dagger. You have your iron knuckles. They're missing their stuff, not their armor. You guys are still wearing your armor.
But do we know where that's all being held?
Yeah, Lewison told us. it's
Yeah.
in that
So
one
Thornock knows where it is,
too. Oh yeah, that's right.
but
We haven't met up with him.
no, he's over here right now. You guys are just about here, and you've stopped to consider what to do next.
Do we see him yet? Is he too far away?
Roll me perception checks.
Oh right.
Thornock, you roll me 1 too.
2 plus -1. I got a 1.
There's got to be
Okay,
booze
that
around here
is-
somewhere, but you can't find
That
it.
dice is
8.
sucky. So that was a 5 that I rolled.
Are we looking
Five.
for third hunk or drinks?
I got a 10.
10. Thornock, what'd you get?
I got a 7.
I rolled a 20 when it really matters.
Well, very imperceptible.
No, you guys don't see each other quite yet.
Walk past each other.
Maybe
So
through no
dark
fault
out.
of your own.
These dice are going away.
Time for new dice.
I say,
Really dark.
I say, I'd say to these guys, I think Thornock is the one creating this distraction to help us escape. I say, I don't want to leave that scroll in the hands of the half-dragons.
Agreed.
Go on without me. I'm gonna double back and see if I can grab it.
She's pulling
Take the
a little
halfling
bit.
with you. You need
I can
backup.
help you.
He's pretty stealthy.
Not a halfling.
Take that gnome with
Very
you.
small.
Take that smallish.
Take the small guy with
I
you.
say, good
you
idea.
think I know? We've been on a couple of
I can be
adventures by
sneaky.
now.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
So you guys continue on west, and you two are going to be heading to the tent to go get the scroll.
Doubling back, yeah.
Okay.
Is it the same? That's different.
And nobody's going for the armory
I
at
need
this
to
point.
go-
Nobody, because nobody knows where it
Nobody
is.
knows. Yeah, no, we don't know what it is.
What, right here?
It's somewhere in this area.
Okay.
You're not quite sure.
Okay. You guys
So
could, like, well, I don't know. Look
we'll
around,
start.
see
We'll
if
start
we
with
can make a
you two. You two make your way down to the lower level, and you see Thornock pouring what looks to be alcohol on his face.
Save something for me! Please, I'm so thirsty.
Thornock, it's the wizard and the devil.
Hello, Thornock, my friend. My
the name
big
of my
elf
next
of a
band.
friend.
Thornock and the devil.
The wizard and the devil.
Hello, halfway my old friend.
You got alcohol for me.
I don't even know what to do because there's guards in the tower that are totally going to see me if I'm nice to them.
Yeah. So what do you want to do at this point? Do you want to ignore them? Do you want to approach?
Please ignore us.
You're off.
Don't draw attention to us.
I am going to fall flat on my face.
So you guys kind of wave and you're like, Thornock over here, and he just kind of like glances and then just falls forward flat on his face and is
I don't take his bottle, obviously.
alrighty. You two roll me a stealth check. So they move up to you and Akio starts taking your bottle, Thornock. 20,
9, 10, 11, 12.
12. Okay.
So I open my eye and tell them to get the hell out of here.
But what about you?
Terrible.
Did you see where they keep your stuff? You have your sword, where's my wand?
It's in the big tent behind me, you dummy. Except I didn't say dummy.
Like it's literally you turn around and it's literally that tent. But,
What's going on?
so you guys kind of sneak up towards that big tent. You see it's pretty clear all around you, and there's still those 4 packs of guards and guard drakes kind of circling around,
Okay.
but they've been lagging just a little bit.
Okay. Can we
You think-
shoot the gap and
You might be able to if you're fast enough.
I'm gonna hold back because I'm not as fast as he is.
Okay.
In the shadows, and I want to try and I'll either I want to try and be a distraction if they're there, or like if I see something go awry, I want to just try and just blindside them.
Okay. Alrighty, so go ahead and roll me another stealth check.
17?
Oh no.
9.
9. Let's see.
Why do I have +4 to stealth if I roll so low? Next dice. Red one.
You slip through the gaps. And you dive and you kind of do that cool somersault into the tent and stand up and you see that the scroll's still there on the counter.
Nice. Grab it.
Okay.
Anything else of value that I could pilfer
That's
quickly
a good
while I'm in?
question.
Yes, definitely.
Go ahead and roll me
do some
a
investigation.
D100.
Accio.
Do I do the percentage plus
Yep.
a
So
10?
yeah, so the percentage is your 10 spot, and then that dice is your ones.
32.
32.
Sweet loot table.
Got a rabbit's foot.
You are now lucky.
Premium roll of rabbit fur toilet paper.
You find 14 silver pieces in a small bag.
I can take those, thank you. To a pauper like me, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And then, Brom, you're standing there, and somebody puts their hand on your shoulder. And they said, "Aren't you supposed to be tied to a post?"
I was told to go to my post. Let's go. And then as we're going, I want to charm person.
Okay. Go ahead, and it's a save,
Under my
right?
armpit. Casting spell. This is a wisdom save of 12. Oh, freak. Just delete the spell.
Uh-oh.
Let's see.
Put it back on.
I forgot how to write the spell.
I need to get the iron here.
Got wisdom saving throw of 12.
He is leading you one way, and then you kind of sing your little ditty to charm him, which is...
What's your little ditty?
What's your little ditty?
My little ditty.
About Jack and Diane.
It's you and me and you. I can't remember the rest of the words.
It's all...
We're happy together.
And he kind of stops, and he sways a little bit, and he has his arm on your shoulder, and he goes, "Which post was it you were going to again?"
I believe I was supposed to go and watch the tent with all the weapons.
Right, this way. And he starts leading you to it.
Do me a favor.
Go ahead and roll me another stealth check to get out of there. Meanwhile, you two have found the tent with the weapons. There is one guard kind of just standing outside it, I believe.
Can I have advantage on that?
Afraid not.
Oh.
I got a
You've got
7.
stronger
7?
You should take out the guard. I'll be your backup.
Okay.
Wait. Drop Leos in first.
So, yeah, you drop, you
Well, I'm
set him
setting
off to the side.
gently.
Drop him.
Matrix.
So, go ahead and roll me an attack roll. You're just going to do an unarmed strike.
I'm gonna do.
What's happening?
She's trying to take out the guard for the
weapons.
armory.
Armory.
Son of a crackhead.
And right behind.
Gosh.
I said I would back you up.
Well, I mean, you're not a crackhead. You're a drunkhead.
A drunk head.
What I meant was
Son of a drunk head.
attack.
So 2.
Yeah, so that's gonna miss. You come around and you go to swing at him, and he just kind of like back steps, and he pulls out his sword to attack you. Meanwhile, Akio comes around the corner.
Yeah. 6 plus. I don't think I get plus anything.
It's just an unarmed
Plus
strike.
strength is 0. So I just got
spell.
to.
Does he,
wait.
Do you need your wand to cast your spell?
So
I
For
think.
cantrips, I don't think you do actually.
Let me double check the
Oh
player.
yeah, let's look at the player's
Sorry,
handbook.
this is
I'm sorry.
material.
This is
So is
plus
it
your strength.
Plus
Yeah,
my strength? I'm so sorry. I got a 6.
that's still.
Still with.
Dang it.
Because the focus you use in place of material components. So if it doesn't have a material component, you shouldn't have
Yeah.
to use it.
I would
That's
like.
just verbal and somatic.
So this is fire blast,
Cantrip,
right?
I can use firebolts.
Firebolt.
I could use gust and shove them over maybe.
Let's see. So we 2 different things. So let's find out what each of them would be here.
Bless you.
Are you?
No, that's
by the way, Reese, you better decide if you're standing up to help him or not by this point too. Firebolt
Alright,
is
I'm not gonna use the dice box anymore. It seems to
verbal
be
and somatic components. So you just need a word and a hand gesture.
Burn it hell!
And then Gus.
That'll do it.
I think we're going with the firebolt. That was pretty good.
Burn it out. Simple.
Burn heck duck!
Gust of wind? No. Gust. That must be in
Yeah,
Let's go with
I got it
fireball.
right here.
Firebolt.
Okay, firebolt. So go ahead and roll me your attack plus the.
Plus 5 for attack on that one. So 8 plus 5, 14. 13 plus. Oh, yeah, 13.
Okay, that's enough to hit. Roll me damage.
Okay, 1d10, which is this guy. No, that's a d8. This guy? Yeah, that guy. 7.
Verbal and somatic. For Gust.
7.
7 damage.
Yeah.
So he sidesteps the punch, and you come around. Burn in hell! And this bolt of fire hits him and just lights him, and it just sears half of his face. And he clutches it and he goes, "Son of a!" and goes to swing at you.
Okay.
So he's gonna roll his attack
You
here,
don't have uncanny dodge.
and that is going to be. A 14 to hit.
16. Armor
Okay.
class.
Yep, so you're able to kind of sidestep him as well.
Spider sense is tingling.
And Thornock, are you, at this point, are you still on the ground?
Yeah, I'm gonna come over and help.
Okay, so you come around the other side of the tent. Go ahead and roll me your attack against the guard. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you, Ari, and your amazing roll.
That was a 5.
A 5 total?
Yep.
Yeah, you come around the other side and you slice right into the tent.
Hold on, I think that's right. Oh, technically it was an 8.
An 8? Yeah, that's still not as much into the tent, but still into the tent.
You idiot!
All right, so we'll come back to this little scuffle as this guard is shouting now.
This is a good movie.
Yes, it is.
Cutting to one group.
All right,
It's Game of Thrones
Fire,
kind of.
explosions.
you put the scroll somewhere safe, wherever that may be, and you
That was a-
rush out of the tent, preparing to like stealth out, and you kind of peel back, and there's a guard drake, and it just turns to the left, and it just starts snarling at you.
Okay.
So go ahead and book it.
Yeah, I'm gonna run.
Okay.
I've got 45 feet movement. So
And then you can
hopefully I
use
can
your-
outrun these guys.
Yeah, you can use
Dash.
your attack as a dash and
Right.
basically double your move, so
Another
90
45.
feet. Yeah.
90 feet. Yeah, I'm running as fast as my little wood elf legs will carry me.
Where did that other book go? Oh, it's right there.
I think we got. So these guys are all.
Yep, so you guys are all around here. This
Guys are
basically
around
this
here.
last tent, and then you're booking it this way.
All right.
And now there's shouts of alarm, and there's starting to be guards coming out.
Does he
What?
pass me?
Yes, he does.
So he runs past me as I'm walking with.
It was a flame.
I'm gonna be chatting him up, talking to him about his life.
I just give him. I give him a sign like run. I mouth
Literally
it,
that.
I
Run.
mouth.
I want to turn and hold his hand and say, I need you to do me a favor. And he's going to, I'm going to say, I need you to close your eyes. We're going to play a game of hide and seek for a moment.
I don't know if I
It's
like...
going to be so much fun.
Okay,
It's going to be so much fun.
all right.
Okay, count to 3.
Okay, 1.
And let's just book it as fast as my legs go. So then he,
3, and he opens up his eyes and he looks around, and a guard drake bowls him over as it's rushing past. The guard drake will catch up to you eventually.
oh no,
But you are plenty far ahead of it.
Sure.
Yes.
wait for me.
And then you start coming around the corner as you see Lunera make her next attack against this guard that's shouting and half burned.
Okay.
Alright.
So go ahead and roll me just another unarmed attack.
Alright, let's do it.
Wait, we got our stuff though, didn't we? Oh,
Not
we're
yet.
trying to get our stuff.
Which one?
I can never tell.
Where's the
So
dot?
it's the line is
The line is that's a 6 then.
6. So 10.
10 is not enough.
So basically, I punch and he dodges, and I hit my hand into the
Into the one
into
of the
the
tent
cave.
post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking, why was I thinking room?
Cave.
In my head, it sounded a lot
Collapse the tent.
cooler because then some rocks would be falling, you know.
Right?
Akio.
I'm gonna say cast fireball and say, why don't you learn?
Don't you learn. Go ahead and roll it.
Burn in Hell Part 2.
13 plus 5, 18.
Yep. Go ahead and roll me
Let's
damage.
not make this a saga.
A trilogy.
7.
Trilogy.
7 again.
God.
Okay, yep. You kind of hit him in the chest, and he just flies back into the tent, and he just lays on the ground smoldering.
Okay. I say,
As you're running past.
I was about to tell you that we've been discovered, but it looks like you've already learned that for yourself.
Yeah.
Say,
Weapons.
I say I have some pretty nasty looking guards on my tail. We better run.
And in the distance, I wanted to hear like a mini me.
Brom comes tearing around the corner.
I turn to Thornock.
Almost
and
run
say-
past
and-
him.
Start
and
tossing
say,
their weapons.
I say, I take it we have you to thank for this little distraction.
Of course, and I wink.
I say,
And I hold
Is it a good wink?
I say,
And I give him a coy smile.
I say, I may have misjudged you, friend. Thank you.
Brom, here's your loot.
And
And your rapier.
And my scimitar.
Yes.
And my loot.
Let's grab our stuff and go.
Here's
Okay.
your stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys
And
got
here's
your
your
weapons.
stuff.
I just take an armload of stuff. I don't know what it is. I just grab what I can.
Okay, so you just find like a barrel that has a bunch of weapons in it and just like pick it up.
What about
Yep.
Leosin? Or Leosin?
He's out. Where'd you put him?
You, right?
Right,
Whoever you
no,
sat
I know,
him.
I sat him down, but are we getting him any weapons, or, I mean, I know he's
I don't know
weak
that he
right now.
needs any.
There's Snarl
That's why I
coming.
grab the
Yeah.
barrel.
Let me grab him. I have the fastest move speed, so I'll help him.
I look to the orc and I say, I'll give you 5 gold if you'll carry me. Okay, make it 10.
I didn't hear that.
I said, I look to the orc and I say, I'll give you 5 gold if you'll carry me.
You make it 20, it's a deal.
Deal, let's go.
Hey, you can't carry the gnome and the barrel of goods. Pick one.
I put him in the barrel.
Is it a barrel?
Okay,
full
you have to
of,
get rid of at least half the weapons in there.
At least what?
Half the weapons, you just kind of have to take them out so there's room for the gnome.
It would be great if it was a barrel. full of wine.
I want to keep the nicest looking spear, and other than that, I don't care.
Okay. Alrighty, there is a nice looking spear in there, surprisingly.
That's what I want.
Are there any magical
So-
artifacts that I could take?
I'm bear hugging
If
my
you wanna
barrel,
take the time to
and I
search
just
for it,
start
you can.
running.
I just start running.
A guard drake comes around the corner. I think it's time to run.
But he can grab there's that flagon, or like the,
Oh yeah, the bottle
The
on the
bottle.
ground. You can scoop that
I
up.
picked up the bottle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it empty though, or is it?
It's half full.
It's half.
Yep.
It's got half worth
It's half-
saliva on the
full.
rim.
So,
Yeah, it's got
I
it's
look at it and go,
half works
oh, it's
saliva.
half empty.
no.
And you guys are booking it out. You are coming up to the guard tower, and the kobolds are now starting to react because the entire camp is on alert.
Damn.
And so you're all going to take an attack on your way out. Actually, everybody roll me acrobatics. Let's see if you can dodge this.
Do I get any kind of 3/4 cover because I'm a barrel?
Yes, you do get 3/4 cover, so you get advantage on your acrobatics.
Sweet. 17.
13.
16.
16 also.
Okay.
15, 16 for first one, advantage, that's 19, 20, 22, 23.
Hey, you all managed to avoid the not boulders, but the pebbles that they're flinging at you from their slings. And then you guys make it out of camp, and that's when the guard drakes are going to catch up to the slowest of you. So you got to think of something pretty quickly to put them on
Minor
the trail.
illusion.
Minor illusion.
I cast what looks like a giant pit that the guard drake would fall into.
Okay.
On
Let's
the
go
map.
ahead and have them roll. Okay. Let's see here.
Unless they have true sight.
Then I'm
And what's your DC, by the way? Your spell DC?
13.
13. Okay. So the one on the left kind of skitters to a halt. Not skitters. Slides.
Skids.
Skids. He skids to a halt, and the other one goes to leap over the pit, and doesn't quite make it, but he lands on the pit itself.
Oh crap.
And they both just kind of look, and they look confused for a moment as the illusion kind of fades for them and starts swirling. But you've given yourselves enough of a head start that you can get out of there.
Run, nice, quick thinking.
Okay.
I keep running with my barrel and my gnome.
There's a mace that they put handle down that's kind of just smacking you as you're running. But you guys make it out of camp, and as you're going down through the ravine, there's no rear guard to stop you. Good job there. That was worth something, I suppose. And you make it out.
They didn't refill the guards.
You did it! Okay.
So let's go ahead and get a group stealth check to try and hide from these guys for the evening, because running all night is probably not going to be the best for you.
10.
10?
20.
20?
12.
12?
9.
9? Thornock, what'd you get?
6.
6.
Nice. Hey, I made all my other stealth checks so far.
Yeah.
Except one.
So you guys
I am
find...
carrying a barrel with a gnome.
Yes, that's true. You should have disadvantage. But you guys find a kind of a shallow cave, and you all kind of slide into it and everything. And then Akio casts a minor illusion really quick over the front of it and just solidifies it. And you hear footsteps rushing by and everything. But you are safe for the evening, so you all can take a rest.
Nice.
Long rest?
Yeah, if you
You're
want to take a
welcome,
long
gnome.
rest.
Thank you,
So you
sir.
can prep any new
And
spells
then
you
I
need to.
flip you your 20 gold.
Man, how do you guys get all this money?
They're not monks.
137 gold.
Yep.
It's true. Yeah. I'm down to 117.
189 because I've spent it terribly on a lot of booze.
So I'm just gonna add 20 gold.
Yep.
Yeah.
I took away
Plus,
20 off mine.
he got a lot of gold from him. So,
I kept flipping.
We're just
Yeah.
ones.
yep.
Yeah.
But I do have 6 silver that somehow I found I've got. I can't remember.
You quickly
We
learned how
got
to
it
win me over.
distributed.
Oh yeah, you gave me 6
Scrounges it off the.
Oh, so now we're in a
Yep.
cave.
You're resting for the evening. Leosin takes the back wall, just because it seems like the most comfortable and
Long
he's the
rest.
most hurt.
Glad you're alive.
Not that he seems to like care about comfort. It's just kind of like one of those things. Like, I'm tired. I'm hurt. You know, just forget
It's
it.
nice to.
Yeah.
Well, good job, everyone.
Brom, we've made it through yet another adventure together. One for the songbooks, I'm sure.
Indeed, indeed.
I say, back to greenest bed in the morning.
Yes. One day I will tell the tales to my lady love.
You have a lady back home?
I do. I don't like to talk about her much.
Whiskerous?
No, nothing like
She
that.
probably doesn't like him.
Nothing like that. And then I pull out a lock of hair that's the. Smell it. And I put it back in my little gnome shirt.
Brom, I thought I knew everything about you. Then again, I was drunk half the time we were together, so.
It's
You probably know a lot of made up stuff about him. Things that you made up, not that he made up.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, yeah, he's totally really good with a tightrope. Like he's just that's what he does, right?
He's a performer, right? He dances with bears, I've heard.
Okay.
Okay.
What? Head back to greenest in the morning then.
Okay. So the morning comes. You guys are kind of traveling along.
Coast is
It's
clear.
yeah, everything seems fine. There's a few times where you do have to hide from guards, but at this point, like they've kind of just they're on one of those general searches. They're combing the desert as it is. We ain't found shit. So you guys are traveling along. As you remember, it's quite a little ways to greenest, and you're not
13
taking the same path that you did before, just to avoid that kind of thing. And you end up coming on a rather large-looking farm.
Did we ever get the scroll? I was
Yeah.
relieving myself.
Yeah, he got this roll.
Yes, he did. And then promptly ran into a guard drake.
And I got caught.
Do we want to look at the scroll before we start letting people in greenest have a gander in it?
I don't know that I want to share this with anyone.
Even an arcana master such as myself.
You're welcome
You're drunk.
to take a look at it, but
Not
it's,
anymore, it's been 8 hours, I'm fine.
it's simply written in thieves'
Fine.
camp,
Been like a whole 2 hours.
He's been pretty
Thieves'
sober
camps.
lately.
which is
I
just
don't know that.
a language that thieves speak.
Is that like Goblin or Draconic?
Leosin kind of eyes you and he says, "Do you speak thieves' cant?"
I say, I have a bit of a sordid past. I grew up on the streets, and yes, learned it in my youth before I joined the monastery.
Can you
Are you sure
translate?
that we should have you be reading that scroll then? The heart has a delicate balance, you know.
I say, don't worry, brother. You can trust me.
I don't trust her all of a sudden, even though I voted you my leader. But why don't we share?
I
can help you burden.
Yeah, I
Read it.
I
to
let you.
me.
I
Read it to me.
I say
can't read this.
I say it simply talks about one path that some monks choose to follow. Not all monasteries look kindly upon the way of shadow.
Leosin kind of stiffens a little bit in your grip, and he's like, "You should burn that scroll."
Don't burn the scroll. It's knowledge. Everything written is knowledge. Whether you disagree with it or agree with it, it's good to know. Don't burn it.
Were you the guy that was going to stay on a post because you wanted to learn stuff?
Yeah.
Yes, but not forbidden stuff.
I
don't
love
get it.
knowledge. Living in
Do
knowledge.
with bardic knowledge, do I have any recollection of this?
Go ahead and roll me a history check.
Yeah, this scroll would make a great collection in my
That's
library.
5?
Plus
What does bardic knowledge give you exactly?
6,
There's-
7, 8. That's just 8. It'd be lore bard stuff.
8. You
Nothing
vaguely
special.
recall something about a shadow man, but you realize that's actually like a children's story.
Slender.
So you're not really sure if it's exactly related.
Okay.
But if you'd like to tell the story, you can.
I say I just turn to Leosin and say, I think I would like to show this to my master and seek his advice on what to do with
Of course.
this scroll.
Which monastery are you from, by the way? On the spot naming.
It was
Come like Summit, there you go.
really bad coming up with names on the spot.
That's why we just use like World of Warcraft names.
Yeah.
No.
Sure.
It was the
Do you want me to look one up?
no, something about wayward. I'm going
Cheetori.
Cheeto Dorito.
The
the,
wiggling toe.
the monastery of the
Punch
wayward traveler.
Wayward Traveler.
Really? That must be pretty far north. I've never heard of that one.
Way.
The battle
Wayward.
toads.
Wayward.
Wayward.
I think I've heard of that in my studies. Have I heard of that in my studies?
No.
I've never heard of this before. And I know a lot.
It is
I'm
the
intelligent.
my master is a kind-hearted man and often took in those who were less fortunate, like myself.
Well, he sounds honorable.
Indeed.
I will defer to his judgment.
Do you think they could help me? With my problems?
Drinking.
Nobody can help you.
I put a
Not
hand
the
on your
drinking
shoulder
problems,
and say,
other problems. I have lots of problems.
and
Nobody
say,
can help you with your problems.
if I could leave my life of crime, friend, he could help you in your Frankenstein ways.
A slight tear comes to my eye, and it twinkles in the sunlight,
And it's that.
and then falls down.
Okay.
That's it.
Magical.
Minor illusion. So you guys are getting closer to the farm now, and a man comes walking out, and he goes, "You folks look like you've seen quite the night." And he looks specifically to Leosin and avoids eye contact with Lunera.
I quickly take the ropes that I still have on and throw them off. Not what it looks like.
You all okay?
We're not with them.
Where's
Not with
Governor
them.
Night Hill?
I mean, the governor of Greenest?
Yes.
You're still about 50 miles out from Greenest.
Oh.
Do you
My
have?
perception is pretty low. It's a 9. Passive perception.
I'm
This
assuming
is
you're
a
all...
farm, right?
Yeah, and he kind of waves a hand at the
No,
big
that was
wheat
out of
patch.
character,
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes, and I wave a hand at the imaginary wheat patch.
Can I insight check him to see if he has malicious intent?
Sure.
With the 9. +1, 10.
No malicious intent from this farmer, but he does look a little haggard himself.
Haggard.
You look like you could use help. Can I flick him a gold coin?
Yeah, if you want to. He takes it and he looks and he goes, oh, I mean, gold's great, but I need other help.
Then give me the gold back.
Like
Hands
what?
back the gold piece.
Sweet back to 89.
Something's been ruining my crops and I can't figure out what it is.
Ruin? Like
Ruin.
Ruining my crops.
Sorry.
Is it a pest of some kind? Something trampling them?
Not really sure. It's more like it's sucking them into the ground.
Can I take
Is the
a
best
look?
way I can describe it.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean the field's this way. And hey, look, if you want to go ahead and let your injured friend there head into the farmhouse, my wife can, fix him up, make him look real nice and clean him, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Much appreciated.
Absolutely.
What kind
I
of
wanna
check do
go-
you want me to roll?
Yeah, go ahead and roll. So head on over if you want. Like, what are you looking for
I just
specifically?
want to see if it's some like dark magic.
Okay, so roll me Arcana then, if
Okay.
you're looking for a magical source.
Can I? He's taking us all over to just look at
Yeah.
the pothole. Then?
Yep.
I got
Like-
6.
Can I?
A 6. Okay.
Can I just look at it and
You
see
can't
if it's
sense anything.
something that I've seen in my travels in the world or the
Okay.
wild?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me. In the wild, you say?
No.
Nature. Okay. And then do you take him to the farmhouse?
Oh, it's you.
Do you take Leos into the farmhouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
19.
19.
I don't
19?
detect any magic. What about you, Brom?
Something, probably.
What do you think?
22.
22. Oh, man, just take a look here.
I
So
know
you,
I have plus
as,
3
as I'm looking for this, you take him into the farmhouse, and the wife points and she says, "Right over there. Brought in more strays, I see." And she starts cleaning his wounds and everything. And she looks at you and she says, "Are you injured?
No.
Oh.
Thanks.
Are you gonna stay in the house? Or are you gonna?"
I'm definitely don't want her to feel intimidated, so I'm just.
She
gonna
doesn't
wait.
appear intimidated by you.
That is actually surprising. Wait, strangers again?
Just strays. He likes to collect his little people and then send them on their way once they're all healed up. He's a sweetheart, but it's not like I'm running a friggin' triage here.
How often do strays come across your farm?
We've had a few in the past couple days. Just some mercenaries on their way from one way or another. Don't cause us too much trouble as long as we help them out. So as you're looking, you start noticing there's a lot of overturned earth. It's not just like the corn just got sucked under or whatever. There's a lot of overturned earth, and it just looks like something has been plowing through here. There are several different monsters that match that description.
Okay.
Tremors.
I'm gonna pick up some of the dirt and look intelligent and drop some. Lick my fingers. I'm gonna look over and I said, I think there's something under the ground.
Ooh.
You just ate dirt.
If I was there, I would
Details.
be doing a slow clap.
Say, or perhaps trampled over it.
And I believe that we need to be cautious.
Where this line is in the crop, it doesn't look like there is any crop. So it just looks like something cut right through the crop, and there's not even like the stalk left. It just looks like overturned earth, like tilled earth.
I think I read about this.
And a creature comes around the corner of around the corner of one of the fields, and it's just this mechanical looking scarecrow, and it just kind of rattles its head towards you, and then just kind of rattles its head back and continues on. And the farmer goes, "Oh, don't mind Ludus."
Say, what is that?
Not creepy
Oh
at all.
well, we got this. This guy came by about 3 weeks ago, and he sells magical creatures, golems, that sort of thing. I figured I could use a farm hand, and this was cheaper than adoption.
Are you sure that's not the thing that's been tearing up your crops?
No, Ludus is harmless. We've had him for. Darling, how long have we had Ludus? And she calls from the house. 2 months.
And I said,
For about 2 months now. This thing started attacking maybe about 3 weeks ago.
Well, we gnomes are very interesting in this tinkering of such things. Do you mind if I have a look?
Feel free.
Is he will he attack me or something? When I
No,
approach?
he knows you're with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to just approach.
Loot is there
It's a
with
real
me.
shame.
I want to approach. You hush.
I stare at him.
I want to use it as a ritual. I want to try and do detect magic to see what nature of the magic is.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I just want to be like, who are you?
Yeah. So you're kind of just wandering with him, casting your. How long is the
Ritual
version?
Well, this is 10 minutes. One action. Let's see, for duration. Spell can penetrate most barriers, blocked by 1 foot of stone. Common metal, thin sheet of lead, 3 feet of wood or dirt. Doesn't tell me how long it takes. But it says 10 minutes is the duration. But I just know it takes a long time to do.
So it'll just be about 10 minutes. We'll just say for this time. I gotta look up the rules for rituals.
Casting time is 1 action.
One action. So I think it times it by 10 for the ritual. So
So one action, that's
60 seconds.
2 seconds.
So about a minute.
Okay.
So you kind of wander with him for a minute, and then you kind of close your eyes, and they open back up with that cool detect magic glow.
I'm just taking notes.
And yeah, just seeing how it moves.
Interesting.
The farmer reaches into his pocket and pulls out a flask and takes a quick drink of it and puts it back.
I'm just taking notes.
It looks like this guy is a standard straw golem, just kind of created out of just standard golem parts. You can tell that there's like little flecks of. They at first they look like butterflies fluttering around it, just in your like their magical aura, but then you realize they're symbols, and it's tiny books that are flapping around it, kind of a personal signature on it.
So keep up the good work.
Then you all hear kind of this rumbling, this little shaking under the ground.
I don't move. I stop.
I put down my barrel.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You're still carrying the barrel. And then the ground the ground that's been overturned already kind of starts bulging a little bit in places, and then these creatures that are probably about this big around the size of a football pop out of the ground, and immediately, like, everybody gets ready, and immediately you see them just kind of like wandering around. They look to be beetles, giant beetles with kind of glowing red abdomens. Thoraxes.
Thorax.
How many are there?
There's about 12 or so football-sized ones, and they're just kind of glowing. And you can tell that the abdomens are just like glowing red and just shedding a little bit of a light.
I think red means bad in magic.
I think we found.
I'm gonna say, farmer man, do you know what those are?
Oh yeah, these are fire beetles. And he reaches down and kind of puts his hand out, and one of them kind of skitters up his hand a little bit, and he picks it up. They're mostly harmless. They'll bite you a little bit, but they don't really do much else. They're kind of like, well, I don't know if you guys got fireflies back where you're from, but they're like the ground version of that, just bigger.
Very cool.
You don't think these are the things that are damaging your crops?
No, usually they only come out at night though,
What could be drawing them now?
and that's when you hear more rumbling. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up the map here. Leosin and Lunera are inside this kind of farmhouse area over here. And then we've got
Can you see okay? Reese?
Yep.
Okay.
so we've got a 2 wide line. Basically right here is kind of the divide for the crops. So there's crops here, crops here. That'll be difficult terrain to get through. And then we've got this here, except for this right here is where you guys are looking at the crop. So this is the trampled path.
Where was
So there, yeah, you're over here with the scarecrow, which we'll just use this guy as the scarecrow for now. Kind of wandering around. You two are over here still. And a creature bursts out of the ground, letting out a roar. I'm gonna throw him right here.
Man. It's freaky.
He's large.
That is not exactly what he looks like, unfortunately. He looks like.
Reese, can you see how big it is?
I need.
Yeah.
He looks like that.
Where am I?
Oh, Thornock. You're over here with the farmer and them. So there's picture over here, picture there, and then right there, this guy, not the dragon queen.
That's her.
How big is he?
He appears to be.
Super tall.
Oh, okay.
He appears to be about 11 feet tall. It, I guess, is the better term.
Okay.
And the farmer just looks at it and goes, I think that's what's causing the crops. And we're going to roll initiative.
Six. Plus.
Initiative is plus what? 3.
I have 13.
6, 7, 8, 9.
10.
Just a moment here. And then you roll me a nature check, kid.
Nature check?
Yep. And you get advantage because you know things about these creatures,
Nope.
apparently.
Advantage. You get advantage.
Oh, advantage.
Not much better.
7.
7.
7, 8, 9, 10.
You only know the name of this creature. It's called an onkeg.
Okay.
Can I make a nature check?
Yeah, you can make a nature check too. You come from the seas though, so you get disadvantage on this.
It's a 4.
It's a 4, yeah. You've never seen this creature before, but
big,
it's
toothy
big.
thing.
Yep.
I have pretty high nature.
Oh, you did.
Looks like a hydrolith.
Go ahead.
Okay. 15.
Let's see. Let me see. Yeah, onkegs are burrowing creatures that live in forests and fields.
You live in the forests and fields.
You've examined some of its armor before, like its chitinous armor.
They have armor.
Okay, so sorry, who was 20 or higher? Anybody?
No.
Okay, 15 or higher.
15.
Okay, Thornock gets 15. 10 or higher.
10.
10,
14.
14,
13.
and then Braun, what'd you get?
9.
9. You guys are pretty close. You're all consistent. That's nice.
Consistent.
Nice grouping.
And the onkeg is going to go first.
Ooh, sweet.
And it's kind of reel its head back and forth and shake off the dirt, and then it sees you guys, and it is going to rear back, and then just its mouth is just going to open, and this spray of acid is going to come out at the three of you
Oh no.
and the farmer.
Oh,
Oh no.
So each creature in that line must make a DC 13 Dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
So it's just a d20.
Natural 1.
Okay. The farmer also rolled a natural 1.
Oh, farmer's toast.
It's a d20.
Yes, and then you add your dex.
As an orc, do you have resistance to poison or no? Or acid?
I don't think so.
I don't think you do. I want to say it's,
And
no,
then
it's
you in the
poison
farmhouse,
for
you just hear this "Ah!" as it screeches and sprays acid. Sorry, Reese, if that was in your ear.
I got a
It's okay.
21.
21, okay. What'd you get, Akio?
11.
11? Okay, so everybody who rolled under 13 takes a total of 7 acid damage. And everybody who rolled above that takes half that damage, so 4.
Oh, that almost killed me.
And the farmer does drop to the ground as acid kind of sizzles and everything. And all of the corn in between you guys just like melts to nothing.
Okay.
And that is going to be its turn.
Kill it.
So it is Thornock.
I would like to rage.
Okay. So
And
Thornock
I'm just
gets
gonna
sprayed with
sprint.
acid and goes into a rage.
I'm going to sprint straight at it,
Okay.
and I'm going to attack it.
Go ahead and roll me the attack.
16.
That will hit.
2 plus 3, 5.
5 damage. Reese, how much damage?
5 damage.
5 damage? Okay. Alright, so you slice against its hide a little bit. You can see you kind of scrape along it. It kind of just roars at you again. And then it is Lunera's turn.
So I'm definitely going to run out of the house
Okay.
and tell Leo to
So it'll be
stay
this
put.
way. Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can go 6. Yeah, because cutting through that's not going to be any better for you.
Yeah, okay. Alright.
So you can see this giant creature and Thornock kind of hitting with its greatsword. You can take an extra action to charge.
Yeah, get up there.
2,
Yes.
3, 4, 5, 6. You can't even get to it with the charge though.
But even then, at least you'll be in
Could
range
I-
for next turn.
Could I be in range for an attack? I mean,
You are in range for
Like a
yeah.
throw?
You'll be able to come up here and then you can throw an axe at it if you want. Remember, you've only got 3 axes total.
Yeah, I'd say wait, and then you can double.
probably be a good
Yeah,
idea.
so you can do a dash action
So
and just get here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be great.
So you start charging down on it. Akio.
Yeah. I will cast Ice Knife
Okay.
at him.
Alrighty. So go ahead and roll your attack first.
What kind of alcohol is it? important.
Whatever I have left at this point.
Yeah.
Which is that
I'm
crappy
not
summer
sure.
one.
Yeah, that. 15 plus 5, 20.
20 is enough to hit it. Go ahead and roll damage, which is
D10
Yeah.
piercing.
Yep.
10.
And wow.
nice.
Oh
So 10 damage total. You stab into it, and then it's going to go ahead and roll its save to try and block. Is it a dex save?
Yeah, it has to roll 13.
13.
Yeah.
It makes its save.
Okay.
So it gets hit with this ice spike, and it slams into it, and then it just kind of bursts, but it just sprays against its chitinous armor. All right, and then it is Ari.
Alright. I'm gonna run up and
Let's do this.
make an attack. Yeah.
I'll run up and fall prone.
Actually, 1, 2. Is this rough terrain? Did you say that we're in?
What you're in is that tilt.
Tilt. Okay, so I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
5,
6.
6,
Can I
7,
like,
8.
get
9,
maybe
10.
behind it so I don't get hit with another acid attack?
If you do a dash
Okay.
action, you can, because
So
it's
it'd be, sorry,
rough terrain is 2 squares of movement for
20.
everyone.
30, 40.
Yep,
I
so you
guess
can
is
get
as far
there.
as I can
Yep.
go. Okay. All right. So I'll make an attack. I'm going to use a key point to use my flurry of blows.
Okay.
So first attack. 12.
12 is a miss.
Okay, and then first unarmed strike. 7. The armor, my fists are not getting through these plates. Wow, and another 12. I was like, chink, conk, conk.
This chitin armor.
It doesn't even notice you either. Well, might be a good thing. And then it is Brahm.
Okay.
Brahm, you turn around and you see this giant creature that just sprayed your friends.
Looking at
Sing it to
it.
sleep. Sing it to sleep.
Looking at it, do I see anything about it that might indicate a weak point from a nature perspective?
Go ahead and roll me nature again.
Does it have a glowing
As your
red
bonus
eye
action.
right in the middle?
Right? Is this like
Does it rear up and suddenly you can target something that you couldn't target before?
missing a scale.
Shoot
your
Black arrow.
15.
15. Any particular? Mostly looking for like if the way it's sensory, I guess. Does it see? Does it hear? Does it?
It's got really good tremor sense, You know, so it can feel vibrations in the ground.
Okay.
In addition,
So do I see anything that looks like soft, malleable stabbing point?
you think you may be able, like you're remembering a story about an Ankeg and about the great hero who once defeated him single-handedly,
Okay.
but you can't remember what the hero did.
Okay.
You can't quite remember it right now. Maybe with more memory.
Hey, I want to run up to him.
Oh, and we should probably put the farmer.
10, 20.
Face down.
So I'm gonna
Farmer face down,
run up to him here
right next to Akio.
at 20, and I want to take my rapier
Okay.
and I'll put my arm behind my back, and I want to just be like, "How about you?" And I want to snap, get him. That's a 7 plus 0. Oh no. So that's the 2 hit is the right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So plus 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11 is not enough.
And then for my bonus action, I want to look at Akio, and I say, "You're looking rough, bub." And I want to cast Healing Word. And I'll say, "Be healed."
Heal thee.
Sure.
And what is that?
This one is a 1d4 plus 2. I'm sorry. Let's cast it level 2.
Go ahead and roll it. Meanwhile, Casey,
Nope, I
would you
can't.
move the
Never mind.
scarecrow
It's only level
up
1.
to
So
the
1d4 plus 2.
Ankeg?
That I
And
roll?
that is I roll
Yeah.
Yep, right there.
4 plus 2, 6.
All right. Almost full health. Thank you, sir.
So the scarecrow comes up and it takes that giant scythe and tries to slash it across, but it's just kind of scraping against the chitinous, but it looks to be helping. All right, and then it is back up to the top of the round.
Oh, the bad guy.
The bad guy. Actually, I'm gonna have the farmer make a death saving throw first. Okay, he looks like the acid is still burning him.
Poor guy.
The Ankeg is going to see about. Nope, it doesn't. It's going to go ahead and it's going to come down with its mandibles and try and stab them into Thornock. So here comes the attack.
Look out!
Sweet.
And it rolls a natural 1. So it slams its head into the ground and just kind of burrows it in about 2 or 3 feet as Thornock gets out of the way before popping back out.
Bird fingers. Would you say that he got stuck in the ground?
No, he did not get stuck in the ground.
It was a natural 1.
True. That would be epic, but no. It's an Ankeg. They can't get stuck on the ground. That'd be ridiculous.
You have to roll a 0.
You'd have to roll a 0. Thornock, it is your turn to respond, though.
I'm gonna try to hit him.
Okay.
$17.
That will hit.
8 damage?
8 damage.
Yeah, 8.
Okay. Alrighty, and then it is Lunara's turn. Lunara, you can get up to him now.
Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to hop, skip, jump
Okay.
here, and then I shall make an attack. Alright.
First attack.
Okay, guys. 13 plus 4, 15.
15, that will hit.
Perfect.
The first strike.
Alright. Oh, 4 damage.
4 damage. Okay. And then you can go ahead and make your second attack. Is that 4? Was that with your bonus added?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that was the D6. So I got 2 plus 2. So
Okay.
4.
And then you can go ahead and roll your second attack.
Ooh. Roll
And
this
that's
one
without
again.
the plus to
Actually,
hit.
she gets the plus to hit because she has 2-weapon fighting as a fighter. Like,
So-
that's specifically.
Sorry, I need to roll
Yes.
the D20
Mhm.
again.
Yep. You're attacking just
You
like.
hit.
Ooh,
Is that a 1
7.
or 7?
Yeah, well, 3 plus 4.
Okay.
So 7.
That one is going to miss. Yep.
Shit!
You're like,
It's like,
yes! So you stab the first hand axe in, and you go to get the second one, and then the on-kick kind of like shifts, and you go, oh!
Yeah.
So your second one just goes wide.
Yeah.
And then it is Akio's turn.
Right, I will cast Firebolt and
Okay.
put my hands together and go, "Uncake this!" and just shoot fire at it. Oh wait. And that is 19.
That will hit.
And D10. Oh wait. Yeah, D10. 9.
9 damage. Okay. Math. Okay. All right. And then, do you want to move or anything, or is that where you're?
I'm just gonna stay because
Okay.
if he has trimmer stuff, I don't want to move. I just
Yeah.
want to stay right
Alright.
behind.
Ari.
Okay, and I'm gonna focus really hard. You've seen people punch through cinder blocks. I can do this.
So do your chi.
You've been fighting tiny kobolds for so long that you're doing like these small, quick punches.
Exactly. I'm like,
To
okay.
avoid this
Yeah.
incinerating him with one punch.
Time to
dig my,
tie.
dig my feet into the ground this time.
Yep.
Use my second key point.
Okay.
Use your inner chi to become the immortal Iron Fist.
Okay.
+5 is
I shouldn't
7.
laugh because I had 3 points.
This one though. Wow. 4 is 9. So I know that doesn't hit either. But this one,
Someone's got
It's
it.
gonna do it.
roundhouse twice. 17. Yes. +5.
Thank
The
goodness.
first 2 were like,
22.
Okay, that will hit.
I was softening up the plate. I was
Yep.
like, and then I crack it.
Yeah, so your 4th and 5th hits finally like crack that plate, and then you go in for the kick.
This was just honestly, 4 damage.
Okay.
so close. Good job.
It doesn't let out a screech. It's just, I mean, it's letting out a screech, but that's because it's frustrated that it missed Thornock. So you can imagine it's your screech.
You hit it and it's like the flesh just kind of wavers, kind of like Jello.
Rom, it is your turn.
All right. I am going to step right. Let's see, right here. So that's 10, 20.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Thunderwave,
Alrighty.
knowing that it's should be far enough away. I hope. Sorry, guys.
So what is it?
Cast wave. This one is going to be a Constitution saving of 12.
Are you making the disengage action, by the way?
No.
Okay,
I'll take
so-
the hit.
Yep, the onkeg is going to swing down and try and bite at you.
Opportunity.
It rolls
It's gonna cut me in half.
an 11.
An 11. That does not hit.
So it comes down with its mandibles again, and it tries to bite you, and you just duck under a little bit. You do the halfling going under the horse thing. That I think is always a really cool part of Two Towers, but that's just me. Yeah.
Alright, there we go. And then it is 2.
The more when they're both standing there, and then they both just duck under the horse. Yeah, that's the
8,
perfect.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 damage. If it makes it save, it's half damage.
Okay.
And it does not get
What
knocked
is
away.
the save it has to make?
Thunderous.
The con?
Constitution of 12.
Each creature with
It does not make it save.
Okay, so that's 14 damage, and it gets knocked 10 feet away from me. If, well, I don't know, let's see, hold on. I don't know if it's a size. It just says it knocks them away, but it doesn't say if they have
You're
to be a certain
small
size.
size, right?
I am tiny.
He's tiny.
Well,
Yes, I'm
you're
small. I'm small. I'm not a high halfling, but.
All right. So
And then it's audible within 300 feet, so I'm hoping that it'll make it discombobulated with all the noise.
Thunder wave. Wish? It's not wish, is it?
Unsecured objects get knocked away. Thunderous boom.
Yeah. No. It's
Is it
It gets knocked away. Yeah.
Okay.
So it moves. Go ahead and move it 10 feet away from you.
And when I do it, I just run and be like, "For the All Father!"
Yeah.
1, 2.
And you slide it, and then let me just go ahead and roll.
It's close to me now.
It falls prone as well as it kind of swings. So go ahead and roll me another nature check. By the way.
Find its soft spot.
12 plus
3, 15.
3, 15. Yep.
Armor's
15? Yeah, you remember the story now. Jobel the Great once fought an onkeg on his own, and he was able to best the beast because if it's on its back, its belly is a lot weaker.
Aha!
Yep.
And then, so for my minor action, go for the belly!
Okay, and then it is the Onkeg's turn. It is going to stand up, just kind of rile itself up.
Dang it.
And I need to. How much damage did it take, by the way?
That was 6
14.
plus 4, 14.
14.
Or sorry, 8 plus 6.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just going to go ahead and take one more bite at Thornock.
He is right there.
And it crits.
Orc sandwiches.
Oh.
Orc sandwich. I have orc loaf.
Oh, I'll have the orc loaf.
So you, Thornock.
Your own kind?
They reappear with bites taken out of them.
How much damage did it do?
Hang on, I'm calculating.
It was a critical he's calculating.
There's so many numbers, it's taking him a while to add them all up.
So it's 16 slashing damage, 3 acid damage, and you are grappled by
Are you
this
still
creature.
raging?
I am raging.
Are you unconscious?
If that was anybody else, we'd be cutting half.
That depends. Does it half the damage?
No, it doesn't have the damage. Wait, does raging like?
I don't remember.
I made a check. Barbarians.
I don't know if it's a higher level thing that allows them to half damage, like a feat.
Let's see.
No, it's there. I just don't know when it comes into play.
You have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage.
Okay, that is slashing damage. So that is half damage.
But the acid's full damage,
So it was
or whatever.
16 points slashing.
Yep. So 8 slashing and then 3 acid damage on top of that.
All right.
And it has you.
Oh, and I'm grappled.
Yep. Which I believe gives you disadvantage on attacks. So, and it is your turn.
And your movement is 0.
But you can use your move to try and break the grapple.
Yep.
You can do a reese. I mean, Dordonk.
So it basically sinks its teeth into you and kind of lifts you into the air and starts shaking you about wildly.
How's it looking?
It's looking like it's got a lot of damage on it.
It looks bad.
I'm gonna break through the plate.
I'm going to try to break the grapple.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me in athletics or acrobatics, whichever you prefer, to try and break out.
I'm going to use my athletics, and it's 22.
That is enough. You're able to pull its teeth apart, and you start plummeting the 10 feet to the earth. Not enough to do any damage, but enough to, make it cool.
Something cool.
So I'm pretty hurt, and I'm still really mad.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else I can do? I don't think so.
That was your move, so you can make an attack.
Oh, I'm going to attack
You
then.
can break the grapple and then attack.
Yeah, because the move, the grapple breaks the move breaks the
That's
grapple.
like its
so,
movement.
mhm.
Got it.
As far as I'm aware.
That's 18.
18 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
For 13 damage.
Okay, how do you want to kill it?
And I want to pull its mandibles apart with my bare hands.
Okay.
And then I want to get my feet down by its teeth, and I just want to tear its jaw.
So it lets out a
Can I do
final
that?
horrifying screech as you rip its jaw off, and it just collapses onto the farmland around it, probably crushing another acre of crops. Nah, not acre. That's a lot.
Dylan, what was his name?
Yes, it's dead.
What was his name again?
The monster? I already
Ankek.
forgot.
On cake.
A-N-K at H-E-G.
Ankek
All right.
is dead.
The farmer's going to go ahead and make another... Okay. The farmer's okay for now.
Stabilize him. Anybody have
Yeah, will someone go take care of him?
I have medicine.
My medicine's a
proficiency.
-1, so I would just hurt him.
I'm gonna go over and try and stabilize him. Not use a spell, but I'm gonna try and stabilize him.
Okay.
I have
Roll
actually
it.
a +2 on my medicine.
Can we both do it? Like he holds his head and then I
Yeah,
like.
you
can I help?
can you can
slap him
aid
away?
him. Mhm.
And that gives him advantage.
Basically, you'll give him a +2 bonus if you make your medicine check.
Oh. I got an 8.
Oh,
So,
I'll roll it.
no,
I was gonna
no,
bombard
no,
it
no
first.
help, but no
How much?
detriment.
12 plus Medicine's +1, 13.
13. Yeah, so you're able to stabilize him enough that you get the acid off of there and everything. Just kind of like scrape it off with your rapier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or a nice alkaline solution.
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
Hit with this on cake.
I say. Here's we found
Can I
the
take
problem with the
one of
crops.
the mandibles or the teeth
Yeah. Go ahead and rip
as
out
a trophy?
either a mandible or a tooth. And the farmer kind of flutters his eyes open. He goes, "Did you get it?"
He gone.
We got it.
I want to look to Akio and say, do you think we could get any acid out of it?
Do I know if I can?
Because I'm still tending.
You think you might be able to, given enough time and effort?
We can do it. We team up.
Do you still have your empty flask that won't melt?
Let me make it empty. It's empty now.
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, really quick. Thornock rips one of the mandibles or a tooth, whichever one he prefers, off. As you guys are doing that, and the farmer goes, "Thank you so much. If you go talk to my wife, I'm sure she's got. We might have a little bit that we could give you, in exchange for your work. I'm sorry that you guys had to get attacked by this thing."
13, by the way.
13.
I stump into their farmhouse
You're not
to
confident.
ask for food.
Okay. You're not confident that you can make your flask acid proof at this time. You
I
might
need
be
this
able
for later.
to,
I'm scared.
given enough delicacy, you might be able to take an acid bladder. But that's going to require a lot of
it's leaking.
carving.
Oh no.
Serious sleight of hand.
Yep.
Use it like a water balloon. Go.
It's not in my skill set.
So Thornock, you walk inside, and the farm wife looks up at you and kind of blinks, and she says, "Can I help you, sir?"
Hello, I would like food.
Right. I heard the commotion out there. Is everything okay?
It's dead.
It, as in.
The obble blah blah blah.
And she looks out the window and she sees everybody kind of standing around this giant beast. You guys are starting to try to work out a way that you could get an acid bladder out of it. And she goes, "Oh, well, thank you.
No, you do it.
Yeah, here." And
Don't worry, and I flex a little bit.
she just kind of gives you one of those smiles, like
Johnny Bravo flexing.
yeah, of course.
Bro.
And then she starts scrambling around to get you guys some food for the road.
Sweet.
So go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check to see if you guys can get one acid bladder. No, we're just gonna have the
Almost a 20. It was like 28.
15.
13.
11?
15 and 11. Are you gonna be helping with this acid bladder?
Oh
or?
hell no. Acid
So
is acid.
it takes. Hand me a d6.
While they're pulling
The
it over,
first-
I'm like sticking my top back of my body on.
Yeah, the first time that you do it, the acid bladder breaks and you all take 6 points of acid damage.
Oh, son of a...
Told you.
Would you like to try again? You're pretty confident there's one on the other side too.
I have 7 hit points left.
7 hit points left as well.
But he did roll just 86. Maybe it's like
do it.
+1 or something.
Let's try it again.
I'm going to beforehand. I want to be like, let me give you a little inspiration, a little diddle,
Give it to Ari.
Little ditty.
little ditty. How come every time you come around, that acid come pouring down? That's Aranaki. Onkig.
Okay, so who do you give an
And I'm gonna
inspiration
give
to?
it to our surgical monk.
I
Good luck,
did not
Monk.
know
Don't
our
get
And
burned.
monk
that's a
was surgeon.
1d6.
An extra 1d6.
Extra 1d6 to your
to my
checks.
check. Alright.
Thornock comes out with a large bundle of food on his back.
Thanks, Thordunk.
Oh, I'm eating a chicken leg or
23.
like a whole pig.
A whole pig.
20?
23.
Yeah.
So that's going to be good enough. You peel back that chitinous plate and you kind of cut in. Again, you kind of stick Brahm in there, and then you're like, wait, that's a bad idea, and you pull him back out. And you just kind of reach in there and you pull out this. It's probably about, we'll say it's about the size of a large stone. So,
Can
and
we
it
dip
just,
our
you can
weapons
just
in it?
see. You want to
You
dip
want
your
your
weapons in
weapons
acid?
burned?
Not right now. I'm just wondering.
Acid has a lot of properties that you might be able to create some sort of magical item with. Some alchemical formula.
Let's hang on to this, guys. When I get my books back
Some poison.
at Greenest,
Mhm.
we can figure something out.
Okay. And so you have one, go ahead, whoever wants to carry it, add one acid bladder. And keg of acid bladder. And then Thornock, make sure you add one bundle of food, which will be an equivalent of 4 days' rations.
Sweet.
And one barrel of weapons, which we'll determine later. Sorry, 1/2 barrel of weapons. And the tooth. Okay. And then the farmer's wife kind of thanks you guys again, and she says, Greenest is about 50 miles that way. Thank you for your help. If you want to rest, you can. But
Can I just do an acid vial? I'm just searching in here. I guess it's
Yeah.
not the same thing, is it?
so you don't have anything that you can carry. Yeah, can you do like a custom item in there?
I'm sure I can.
Yeah, just write a custom item for acid bladder right now.
You might be able to just do it in the notes section. It's not gonna be in your inventory, but
Right.
I think
And you all make your way back towards Greenest.
Acid bladder.
So everybody is going to go ahead and level up to level 3. We are done with our. We are done with this episode, so congratulations. That means everybody who doesn't have like a path already chosen, like Dallin did, will have to choose a path.
Excellent.
Leosin actually on the way back also talks to you about his path, his way of the open palm,
Way of the open hand.
or way of the open hand. And kind of just talks to you about as an alternative. He seems to be trying to talk you away from looking at that scroll too much, even though he said he'd trust you with it. He kind of seems to be like,
Yeah.
maybe this is the best path to balance your life. And that's gonna be it for this week.
Awesome.
Good escape, guys. Good escape.
Bravo. Bravissimo. Bravissimo.
Barely.
I just want to say you're welcome to everyone.
Thanks
Yes,
for not
indeed.
betraying the party.
Yes,
It was really, really hard to make that decision to not
I'm
betray you.
sure it was.
Well, I hate people who are taken captive. And
Yeah,
That's true.
it's true.
Because
that's pretty much it.
It's true. And my sharp tongue often gets me in trouble. It's one of my flaws. So
Oh,
it's one of your
That's
best
why I punished you.
qualities.
not that one. Not that one.
Very big decisions to make.
awesome. Good work, everyone.
Should just roll a dice.
All right, Reese. We'll catch you next week. I'm gonna cut the stream.
Okay, I'll see you guys next week.
See you next
Yeah.
week. Bye.
Bye.